time I pop into 7 Brew or Onyx, I will ask for the monkey milk and just look at the faces on the people.
Where's Onyx at? I've been.
There's a couple of them in Northwest Arkansas.
Okay.
Rogers, Bentonville, Fayetteville.
I've seen the 7 Brews, Scooters.
Monkey bread.
There's monkey bread.
is
Monkey
good.
bread's good.
Yeah,
There
monkey
might as well
bread
be
is
monkey
good.
milk.
So,
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all
Monkey
over
milk
Arkansas.
sounds like a drink that would be on the kids portion of the menu at the restaurant. It'd be $2.99 with no refills. Give all the kids a cup of monkey milk here.
Yeah, I've had good coffee. The coffee I drink every morning, 1 cup a day is not good.
Chocolate milk's $1.99. Monkey milk, which is also chocolate milk, by the way, the same thing, is $2.99.
Chocolate milk is fantastic. It's the best milk out
Comes
there.
in a souvenir cup.
The absolute best milk out there. I used to like drinking it after working out, but don't
But
do that.
you quit working out, right?
Yeah. Well, not really, as you can tell. So Taylor Swift's cat again, Olivia Benson, is worth $97 million. I failed to look up how much Taylor Swift is worth.
Billions.
I'm guessing
over $1 billion.
Yeah,
now.
I'm guessing that is probably correct. But I'm just
how
shocked.
is that? Here's what obviously how does a cat actually worth anything? Because a cat can't legally own anything, but people leave stuff to their animals in their will all the time, but it's not actually left to the animal. It's left for the care of the animal. But I've got lots of questions because I hear these things and I like to take them literally. I'm not sure how a cat would actually be worth nearly $100 million.
Well, I don't know if I have the answers, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Maybe you should talk to someone with more business sense than myself. I'm just reading this little excerpt from the story.
I think this would be probably the cat's marketing value, but I don't know how the cat would, I don't know how the cat would open a bank account.
Or connect business deals.
Right. Well, someone could do it on the cat's behalf.
Yeah.
But here we are slaving away, for tens of dollars. And we got a cat who appears in a video with Taylor Swift and worth $100 million.
That cat in a 30-second spot makes more in that point than we'll probably make the rest of our lives.
Combined. Yeah.
Yes. Combined. All 3 of us here in studio this morning on it too. So
I'm going home now.
Yes. So stew on that this morning. That Taylor Swift's cat is not worth just more than Travis Kelce, but worth more than you.
Smack Daddy on the McCarthy Daniel hotline has a great point. Since cats have 9 lives, do we divide the $97 million by 9? Yeah. Smack Daddy, that is a wonderful question.
Which I don't know the answer to.
I don't know, and I mean, legitimate question brought to the table.
Matt texted on the McCarthy Daniel hotline asking us to get DQ to figure out the breakdown of the cat's value.
Well,
I think she would do that on her own, not even as part of her job.
Laura Kraft, my lovely wife, I don't know what her obsession is with this Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift romance, but she's convinced they're not only going to get married, they're going to have babies. So,
well, there are reports out that they're going to get engaged this summer. So she could be onto something there. As far as the baby's concerned, is that baby going to be an athlete or going to be a singer? Or both.
Yeah.
Or Troy Bolton for the ones that have watched High School Musical with their kids. But I am excited for Travis Kelce to be in action against the Buffalo Bills this weekend. 2 years ago, I think it was the best playoff game we've seen in a decade. I mean, we've got 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. We've got Arkansas playing early on, so it's not going to interrupt any playoff time. You could basically just sit on your couch from about 12 to 2-ish. Then you'll bleed right in. I think the first playoff game that day is at 3. And then you'll have a game that night, and then 2 games on Sunday as well. And the Sunday game's not late, which I like. It's at 5:30 on CBS between the Chiefs and the Bills, which, again, I think is going to be the best playoff game of the weekend. I'm hoping it's one of those legendary electric games that we've seen Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen play these, which is a blossoming rivalry. We don't have Brady and Manning anymore. We haven't had that for several years. This is probably the next best quarterback rivalry. I thought it might have been Burrow and Mahomes because Burrow actually had the edge on him for several years, but it hasn't necessarily transpired to play out like that. So we'll see if this Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, I mean, they've competed on the golf course together. They've competed, again, on the football field in playoff situations, and this is the first time they'll play at Orchard Park in Buffalo relative to closer to home here in Arrowhead.
Yeah, and we'll see, the weather. Obviously, last weekend was the story in several games. This one will be played out in the elements, unlike, as we learned yesterday, Detroit.
Yeah.
That question from whoever that reporter was. This game, and you wonder why, because Buffalo's building a new stadium, right?
Yes, they are.
And it is an outdoor stadium. It is not going, from what I understand, rather than you'd think that that far north and, that's susceptible to winter weather in the playoffs, they might want to think about an indoor stadium, but,
Their fans kind of relish. I have a lot of respect. We got a chance to catch up with Chris Gregg about a year or so ago, and he told us that he loves Razorback fans, and he also loves Buffalo Bill fans when he was there for a bit, because he felt like it was a college-type atmosphere with how their fan base treats games and their team.
Well, I'd agree with that.
Probably an advantage for them, too.
Yeah, that's one of and the setup, again, it's not supposed to snow this Sunday night. It's supposed to be a warm 23 degrees in Buffalo. It's not going to be like it was in
23. They'll be wearing shorts.
Yeah, in the Pittsburgh game last week.
Hey, harvest your best deals. It's the peak time to get the best deals at WT Equipment. Right now, get New Holland Workmaster, Power Star, Boomer, or T5 series tractors with incredible deals, incredible savings on payments and interest, and no money down right now. It's now the time to get whatever job these fuel-efficient, versatile tractors can help you get done this coming year. Hurry, these deals won't last long. It's all at WT Equipment, 8 locations around the state to help you. Find the one closest to you at WTEquip.com. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
All right, when we return, want to go back to the game on Tuesday, how even in the final couple sequences, Arkansas still found a way to get it done.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Hey, this is Bobby Carpenter with ESPN Radio, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Razorbacks!
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jeers Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jeers Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Shop Meadows Lumber, true value for great bargains of the month. Pick up an allergen defense furnace filter from Filtrete for just $9.99. Stay toasty with a portable heater from Soleil for only $19.99. Keep your feathered friends fed and happy with a 10-pound bag of black oil sunflower seed or 20-pound bag of wild bird food for just $7.99. Choose from Bounty's select A-size paper towels or Charmin's Mega Roll Ultra Strong Bath Tissue for $9.99. Grab a Stanley Fat Max 25-foot tape measure for just $15.99. Get these bargains of the month while supplies last. Meadows Lumber, true value.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. and she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for two for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What'd you call me?
A meal for two for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news for the new year. Introducing Road Ready Certified used cars, inspected and certified with a comprehensive warranty. You simply can't buy a better used car. Road Ready Certified, only available at Rath Auto Resources. Another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
How do I drive more traffic to my website? How do I increase my Google rankings? If these are just a few of the questions you have for your business, then we should talk. In addition to sports radio marketing, ESPN Arkansas can help your business be found online. From website design to geo-targeted campaigns, search engine marketing, social media management, streaming video campaigns, and much more. ESPN Arkansas is your digital marketing partner. Go to espnarkansasdigital.com for your free digital marketing audit or email us at sales@hitthatline.com to schedule an appointment.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Well, Chuck, it's good to hear you, man.
Good to talk to you, Joe.
It's always good to hear your voice.
Ellis drives the paint, kicks it away. Right wing, Devo's open, three-pointer good. Devo with a three, his first of the night. Arkansas by 10.
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
We got a text from Troy in Charleston on the McCarthy Daniel hotline talking about free throws. And I think it's important to bring something up when it comes to Arkansas basketball and the number of fouls that are called per game. And you may not like the answer or what I'm about to say, but I'm going to share it regardless coming up.
Brought to you by the Inn at the Mill, the place we stay when we need a place to lay our heads down at night in Northwest Arkansas. We love the convenient location. It's close to our studios over at ESPN 99.5. It's got the great personal touch from the front desk staff. Jennifer and that whole crew do a great job. Anytime you call, once you're in that system, they kind of know your preferences, know who you are. Make it simple and easy when you call 443-1800 to set up your next reservation. It's close to campus, close to the AMP, close to Crystal Bridges, close to great restaurants and shopping, and a whole lot more. 200 yards off I-49, something like that. A few hundred yards off I-49 at the Johnson exit 69. 443-1800 is their number. Got some baseball weekends coming up before you know it. Maybe it's time to start booking those reservations now. 443-1800 or online at Inn at the Mill, inatthemill.com.
So this is from Troy in Charleston. If they had the same ref crew for the A&M game, calling a foul every 30 seconds, the Hogs game might not be over until kickoff of the NFL game. Now, there was, I think, 73 free throw attempts in that game. Guys, as annoying as that may be, first off, the majority of the calls, 90+% of them, I thought were fouls. I don't think there was a lot of bad calls in that game. Second, that's in your favor. Arkansas is a top 5 team in the country in getting to the free throw line, as they were in the first year under Eric Musselman. In 2 other years, they've been in the top 35. As annoying as it may be at times, and I know people call that game ugly, you can't win pretty. Your team is not the prom queen, right? Your team is a 6 or a 7 that has a chance to make some noise.
With a wart.
And they do it, and they have to do it ugly. So you can call it pretty, you can call it ugly, but that's how you have to win this year, is taking it to the rack consistently, strong, hard, and making the officials call fouls or putting them in tough situations continuously over and over again. If you're jacking 20-some-odd threes a game, you're probably not going to win. That is not the element of success as much as we thought it might be with the guys you added with this basketball team. Maybe they morph into that, but through the number of games we've seen, through 4 games of conference play, they have to win like they did against the Aggies on Tuesday night.
Terry Oglesby, Doug Shows. They called the Duke game earlier this year. Now, their third partner the other night was different in the Duke game. That's 2 of the top 5 officials in the country right there. It's rare you're going to get 2 guys of that caliber on the same night. I don't know if weather and travel and schedule had anything to do with it, or is that just the way it had been scheduled. Both of those guys have worked multiple Final Fours and multiple national championship games. Now, I keep up with stuff like that a lot more than the audience, but you're not going to get a more experienced, more veteran crew than you had the other night. Is every whistle perfect? No, but trust me, those guys got a lot of things right. What you're saying without saying it, Ty, is quit fouling. You don't want more fouls, then quit fouling. That game had a lot of fouls in it. But your analysis on how do you get to the finish line, how do you have one more point when it's over than the other team, like you did the other night? You got to do it at the free throw line. So you're exactly right in your analysis of you don't want these games to have, you don't want these games to be in a position where you rarely get to shoot a 1-and-1, or you're on, where there's maybe 8 fouls called on each team in each half or something like that. That's not to your advantage. You're exactly right in what you're saying. So you got to win ugly, and sometimes winning ugly means going to the free throw line a lot, which means obviously a lot of whistles. But I don't, those guys weren't out there just blowing whistles to blow. I thought there were a lot of calls they could have put a whistle on, a lot of plays they could have put a whistle on. They did not put a whistle on.
Because you have to offset the fact that you foul a lot as a basketball team. You in the country are outside the top 250 in that category. There's 363 basketball teams, so that's not a good stat. And you don't force any turnovers. You're outside the top 300 in that. How many did A&M have on Tuesday night in your home arena? 2. They had 2 turnovers. You had 8, so it's not like that's bad. I mean, you take single-digit turnovers every day, twice on Sunday. But if you're not going to force turnovers, and if you're going to foul a lot, you've got to get to the free throw line, and you also can't turn the ball over that much, which, again, give them credit.
Couple that with how many steals did Arkansas have? 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't force you.
Well, I mean, if you're not going to, 1 steal, like you said, 2 turnovers. Now, Arkansas did have 9 block shots. That helps, but you don't always get the block shot back or gain possession out of that block shot. So, you're right. You got to find ways to eliminate their possessions. If you're not going to force turnovers and they take care of the basketball, then you got to find points at the free throw line, because Arkansas doesn't seem to get, what was the points in transition? Fast break points 16-4 in A&M's favor.
Yeah, when you don't.
I mean, you're not a transition scoring team, and I bet if we lined up all the box scores, they're going to be probably all tilted in the opponent's favor for the most part.
Yeah, when you don't force turnovers, it's really hard to score in transition,
right.
And Arkansas has not shown a consistency in doing that, unlike the previous team. So I'll give Musk credit, and Chuck will join us in about 10 minutes, and he kind of spoke to this on the latest edition of the Give Me Hogs Chuck podcast. They're starting to figure out their own identity, not just Musk, but the entire basketball team, which I think is important because you have to lean into your strengths. This is not going to be a great offensive rebounding team. This is not going to be a great havoc-causing team on the other end, so you have to be near excellent on the other side. You've got to make your shots, and you've got to, again, they gave up 19 offensive rebounds, but to offset that, they really held them to a low field goal percentage. So you've got to be able to rebound better. You're going to play some teams this season, the majority of teams, when you're rolling out Chandler Lawson at 6'8" and Trevin Brazil at 6'10". I know Trevin, again, 6'10", but he's slim. You're going to get out-muscled in a good chunk of games this season. You have to figure out other areas like getting to the free throw line that you can be better in to can offset the areas that you struggle in to this point.
So just to be clear, you thought the refs did a good job.
Yeah, I didn't complain. I didn't complain. People are mad about the outcome of that game.
People think when the refs have a lot of whistles and a lot of fouls that they're just it's about them. Well, I mean, that game was just ugly. Like
and
ugly means fouls generally. Ugly means whistles generally.
And I'll go.
And let's be honest, it wasn't played at a high level. Well, when a game's not played at a high level and you don't have a lot of shots going in, it results in fouls.
Yeah. And say it when I started the segment. Arkansas has to play this way to win games this season. There's not going to be many games that you walk away from saying, man, that was a pretty win. Who cares? It's a win. That's what you need to care about the rest of the way.
Yeah. Hey, we're brought to you by The Fence Man. Our buddy Sean will be here tomorrow for the Fence Man Friday Picks. If you own a business that needs more security and more curb appeal, why not get both with powered automatic gates and a great-looking fence from the Fence Man. They can custom design and custom install any kind of fencing or gating project you might have. They've been doing it for more than 40 years, so they know exactly what they're doing, and they're the #1 fencing and gating company around in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Call the Fence Man. Ask about 18 months, same as cash financing. 782-3936 is their number. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
All right, when we return, Chuck joins us on the other side. We're going to hear more from Eric Musselman. We've got more stories on a Too Stupid Thursday. I don't know if they're going to be able to top Taylor Swift's cat, though, being worth more than Travis Kelce.
Follow us on Twitter at Ty Sports Radio and at TommyCraft ESPN.
Hey, this is Gold Kubelik with ESPN.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McCarthy Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McCarthy Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarthy Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarthy Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarthy Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
If you hope heaven has a bar, it's guaranteed that you'll be bounced and barred. Heaven is reserved for those who have put their hope in God's Word. Jesus said you must be born again by trusting in Him, or you won't see the kingdom of heaven. God set the bar so high, that's why Jesus had to die. If you refuse God's last call, the Holy Spirit will serve you a fireball. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Reno on Tuesday night in the game that we're going to still talk about following Arkansas's 1-point win over the Texas A&M Aggies. Chuck was calling it, and he's with us now. We'll get to him coming up in just a sec.
Boys, we got another big weekend of football coming up. I was looking here on the Bet Saracen app before we dive into the Razorbacks. You got all the lines and everything going for this weekend. Let's see. Baltimore is giving up 9.5 to Houston. Green Bay is catching 9.5 against San Francisco out in the Bay. Detroit's, how many times has Detroit been favored this late in the playoffs? They're favored by 6.5 at home over Tampa Bay. And Kansas City's catching 2.5 at Buffalo. All the action on the games, whether it's over-unders, whether it's player props, or just the lines or the money lines, all available at the Bet Saracen app, wherever you download your apps, whether you got an Android or an iPhone, just go into the store and download the Bet Saracen app. You can go to betsaracen.com and look at all the there's a video there that tells you how to use the app and maybe have a little more fun with it. Live bets, player props, parlays, it's all there. But, Chuck, what do you think? Detroit giving up 6.5? I don't think a lot of people had that going into to the year.
I don't know how many people had Detroit in the playoffs.
Well,
much less to be in the second round and be favored by a touchdown, but I wouldn't argue with that.
Yeah, and playing at home, you know.
Mm-hmm. I'll give the NFL credit. The NFL obviously saw something to put them in that Thursday night game against Kansas City to start out the year, but kind of like you're saying, Chuck, I don't think many people expected them to win the NFC North and be at this position. But I like it. If there's a team that the two teams I'm rooting for at this point, I want to see Josh Allen make a Super Bowl out from the Bills, and then Detroit with the Arkansas connections. You got three of them, not just Frank Ragnow and Dan Skipper, but technically Jerry Jacobs as well. I know the Niners have both Dre Greenlaw and Brandon Allen, so wouldn't mind seeing them either. But still some Razorback connections in the playoffs these next few games.
Better game this weekend, Green Bay, San Francisco, or Kansas City, Buffalo?
Kansas City, Buffalo. Green Bay's going to get their bleep whipped.
I don't know about that.
I think that is going to be. I think Chase Young and Nick Bosa are going to be in that backfield. Jordan, as good as Jordan Love looked last week, San Francisco is going to eat him alive out west.
I'd come closer to thinking Buffalo trucks Kansas City than San Francisco trucks Green Bay.
I just don't know if Casey has the offense to keep up with Buffalo right now. I know we're so used to Patrick Mahomes being high flying. They have a good defense. It's the best defense they've ever had. under Andy Reid. But yeah, I just don't know offensively.
All those Kansas City games you're talking about, all those Mahomes games, they were all played at Arrowhead Stadium.
That's a good point. Yep.
They're going to Buffalo this time. It's a whole different deal in Buffalo, and especially when they're good, especially this time of year. So I'd take Buffalo in that game.
It's only a warm 23 degrees this weekend, Chuck. No snow or anything, but it's still going to be nice and cold. Not what they had to deal with against Pittsburgh this weekend, but I was thinking about, I know we've talked about the Liberty Bowl back in the day against East Carolina. You mentioned the Cotton Bowl was quite cold. I don't know.
Well, there was two. There's the Oklahoma game was really
cold. The Oklahoma
cold.
game was really cold.
Missouri was cold, but Oklahoma, I think, was colder.
It was colder.
Yeah.
I don't know if Arkansas fans have had to deal with like the snow aspect and stuff that some NFL, because, again, you play these games sometimes in December and January. College games end in November, so it's just not the same weather for the most part, especially down as cold as Fayetteville can get in other places. It's just
very seldom.
That
happened a time or two, but very seldom.
Yeah,
that LSU game in 22 was about as.
Yeah, you were at that game.
You know, that was really, really cold. And there was they had to shovel snow out of the aisles or whatever.
Well, you mentioned the Buffalo home field advantage, Chuck. You definitely have a home field advantage in Bud Walton Arena, and that was on display. You heard your call there. Musselman kind of broke down the last couple sequences with Wade Taylor and then Tremont Mark getting that final shot. And really, Arkansas was helped by the fact that Buzz Williams called that timeout.
You know, I thought we defended about as good as we could. The last play of the game that Taylor hit a shot, you know, we ran into the screen, didn't get over the top of it, and then when we tried to switch it, we had our hand down. You know, so we got to get better at that, but super impressed when they made the shot that we did not hang our heads, that we came back out, came out of a timeout. We were out of timeout, so actually benefited us that we had a timeout. We could put our guys where we wanted to from an offensive standpoint, because in reality, we had no timeouts and we would have been in a scramble situation. I don't even know if we would have known who would have inbounded the ball. So the defensive timeout helped us get organized and was crucial for us to get the ball in the right guy's hands, even on the press break.
Thank goodness Buzz called that timeout. And thank goodness
and he wants that back.
Yeah, and thank goodness he changed his entire wardrobe at halftime into a sweater vest or sweater and glasses. I don't think I've ever seen a coach do that in basketball. I've seen it in football. I don't think I've ever seen a coach change his wardrobe at the half.
I know I haven't. I've been around a long time. I know I haven't seen it.
I've seen him. You know, we've all seen him shed the coat. Some more colorfully when they pound the coat down on the floor. We've seen that happen a lot. But yeah, I've never seen him come out because you're right. He took the suit off, and put a cashmere sweater or whatever on.
That's what he was wearing before the game when he came out for warm-ups. He was in fact spoke for just a second, but he was over there by the scores table, and he was wearing what he wore in the second half. And I thought, man, he's going to have to make a quick change, because there was probably 25 minutes or so before the game, 30 minutes. I think we're about to go on the air. And, he did. And then he came out in the second half wearing what he wore before the game. So who knows?
So as important as his apparel was, Chuck, I mean, you were in the building. Tommy and I was watching. We were both watching on the television. And I felt like the life got sucked out of the building when Taylor hit a contested. It was almost a double pump three. And then somehow Mark put that life back. Did it feel like just everything that they had built up to that point was sucked away in that instant when he knocked down that three?
Well, I think there was the feeling that, oh my gosh, this is going to be devastating if they can't win this game. If they blow a 20-point lead and lose, this is devastating. It was, Wade Taylor's a great scorer. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've seen him do this before. I think he plays better against Arkansas than he does anybody else, and he's had some big games against other teams. I remember him scoring nearly 30 as a freshman, and he's a great player. He's a great scorer, and Arkansas had trouble stopping him. And I'm not going to lie to you. I expected the shot that he put up to go in. I didn't have any doubt it was going to go in, because he was having that kind of second half. The thing that I was a little surprised by the timeout, but not terribly surprised. That's one of those after-the-fact things. If you get the defense set and you deflect the inbounds pass, they talk about what a brilliant timeout it was. So, I mean, it's the bottom line is they got the ball to Mark, and he made the play. Yeah. I can't say A&M defended it poorly. I won't say anything bad about them. He just got the ball, ran down the floor, elevated, and made the shot.
Yeah. No, you're right about how devastating it would have been. I think it'd have been worse than losing by 32 to Auburn. I mean,
but fortunately, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. So I think that's what I'm just talking about the value of Mark Schott and his play, what that brings, because you had everything set up for you. They didn't have Henry Coleman. I know Taylor scored 41, but they had a terrible first 10 minutes of the game. And then I was talking about this yesterday. I know how much you love when officials go to the monitor, but if they had several trips in the first half, but if they don't make that trip right before halftime, put 0.4 of a second back on, give Trevin Brazil 2 free throws. I mean, in theory, you don't have enough points to win that game if it all played out the same way. So, I mean, every little thing that kind of needed to go your way on the breaks kind of happened that way on some of those things.
Well, it did in the first half, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
I thought they played well in the first half. I thought they shared the ball well. They had a high number of assists in the first half. Their assist-to-turnover ratio was just off the charts. I thought it was great. Then the second half, it was a totally different deal. It wasn't like they were, turning it over, throwing it away, things like that. It's not like they were playing bad basketball per se. Just A&M locked down, and Arkansas couldn't shoot.
Yeah.
Look, that was not the best played game in the history of college basketball, but it was a very competitive game, and I'll give the teams credit for that. 2 hours and 38 minutes is ridiculous for a basketball game, and I'm not blaming the officials. I'm not blaming them. It was just an ugly, choppy game.
Yeah, it wasn't well played. I thought Ty I know how much you love to give Ty credit for his points and opinions, so I'll beat you to it. That's the way Arkansas's got to play to win. Ty, you brought this up earlier, and you're exactly right. You can't win pretty. You got to win by going to the free throw line. You got to win by having a lot of fouls. You got to win by getting yourself to the free throw line, because that's the best way you can score and have enough to win a game of this nature. So, yeah, I don't like 2 hours, 38 minutes. I like 2 hours, 8 minutes. But that's the recipe right now to win basketball games.
I talked about this on the podcast, the last one, and I really thought the game Tuesday night was the first time where they played like they knew what they were, for better or worse.
Mm-hmm.
This is not going to be a great shooting team, for example. Their percentage was not great. It's been so-so in Southeastern Conference play. They're not going to be a great rebounding team. They had one, they were credited with 3 offensive rebounds. 2 of them were team rebounds. They actually only had one player one time in the entire game grab an offensive rebound. So they're not going to be a team that pounds you on the glass. This is not a high-volume steal team. It's not a team that's going to turn you over an abundance of times. There have been times when they have, but they're not a high-volume steal team. You look at a lot of the areas of the game, and they've just been okay at best there. But for better or worse, this is going to be the type team that has to score a lot of points at the free throw line, and that does make for an ugly game. But I did feel like Tuesday night they played like they knew what they were. They understood their deficiencies. They understood what other areas they had to make up for those deficiencies, and I thought they did on Tuesday night, just enough to win the game.
Yeah. Obviously, Tremont Mark's been the guy everyone's talking about. 35 points, 22 free throw attempts, made 17. But, Chuck, maybe the most important number in all of his stat lines, the first one. He played 40 minutes. He was out there for every second of the game. That's rare. Still in college basketball, you don't see even your best players play every second of the game night in, night out. And he doesn't do it night in, night out, but I thought that was critical for this team is, he had the hot hand, and he was able to stay out there the entire game.
Thought A&M got tired at the end. They missed their last 5 free throws. That's fatigue generally. Mm-hmm. Mark, he did play 40 minutes, and he made his free throws down the stretch. I will attribute that, at least part of it, to the emotion of playing at home.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about a team being tired on the road, it's not just, physical fatigue. It's the emotional fatigue of all the things you battle during the course of a road game. And, I thought it affected A&M to a degree at the end. Not a lot. They obviously were smart enough to get the ball to Wade Taylor's hands and let him score. But I do think at the foul line they could have been a little bit better there at the end. But, yeah, Mark was, 17 of 22 at the line.
Mm-hmm.
The shooting percentages have not been great. I mean, they've been right around 40% pretty much, I guess, in conference or a little below. I mean, it's a small sample size. But that's what they're going to have to do to win.
Yeah, and I want to ask you about let me ask you real quick before we move on. What did you think of the Devo Davis flagrant 2 foul on the drive to the hole, the kick? We hadn't had a chance to talk to you about it. We all kind of gave our thoughts yesterday. What'd you think?
I thought it was, well, first off, I didn't see it. I mean, it was away from, it was away from the action. It was over in the corner and away from the ball. I was watching the ball. I saw it later. I didn't really have a problem with it. I thought it was all right.
Yeah, generally, when you have a player get a technical or, rarely do you see a flagrant 2 where something happened in the course of action that leads to your ejection. Generally, our fans are the first to defend the player, and it's the ref's fault, and everyone from the conference office on down's out to get you. But I have yet to hear really anyone that thought, hey, this was not adjudicated properly. This was, that Devo was treated unfairly. I have yet to hear anyone say that.
It's the give and take with Devo, and he wears his heart on his sleeve. You love him because he's an in-state kid, and he has plays in games like Kansas last year and the dunks at the end of some upsets. But then there's times where you're just like, you want to pull your hair, and it's like, what are you doing? And I think there's a lot of people that get over emotional when it comes to Arkansas sports, and he's just a player that gets over emotional at times. So, like you said, I will defend an Arkansas player coach till to the grave, but there's no way to defend his actions on Tuesday night. And he's got to stop doing that because the officials are not going to give him the benefit of the doubt, because not just this year, but what's gone on the last couple of years. I don't remember him doing much as a freshman, but that is something that they have to. I guess there was the hitting the backboard a couple times, but I mean, he's got to cut that out because they need him on defense, and there are guys that will play in front of him. Muss will get tired at a certain point. It's like, look, we can't have this anymore. It was a 1-point win. A 1-point win. If that A&M guy had made those free throws, we'd be coming back to that play this morning and on Wednesday, because it would have been a 1-point win for A&M, and that would have driven us nuts. So
they missed those free throws.
Yeah, they missed
right?
those free throws. So you can't have these type of things as a senior and as the supposed leader. I don't know if he's the actual leader of that team because I'm not in that locker room. But if you are identified by your fan base and talked about by your head coach as the leader or one of the leaders of this team, then you can't do that, because these upperclassmen that came in, or the underclassmen like Pinion, Blocker, and others, they sit there and like, what are we doing? Especially in the hole that Arkansas is in right now in conference play. It cannot happen the rest of the way.
Well, fortunately, Arkansas got away with it. So we'll.
Well, I think the thing with Devo right now is, I think there's frustration on the offensive end. I think that's part of it. He's guarding the other team's best player, generally speaking, every night. Lots of times when you work hard on one end, you get rewarded on the other. And it doesn't mean they're not looking for him. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying that I think there's frustration on the offensive end right now for Devo. And I think perhaps that's led to some of what we've seen. But you're right. Things like that. Fortunately, it didn't cost him the game. But certainly things like that are, you're not gonna be able to continue to do that and win. And Tommy, to your point about people, not rushing to Devo's defense, I think there's the recognition that things like that can potentially cost you a game. And I think there's the recognition among Razorback fans that, this team still has the ability to turn it around, but I don't know that we're going to look at them and go, hey, man, they're going to beat these guys by 15 or 20 tonight.
Yeah.
Every win they get may be, within 5 or so, and every point may be valuable. Hey, every dollar's valuable when you're buying or selling a home, and that's why I recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. I've partnered with them multiple times as a buyer and a seller. In my case, it's the most money I've ever spent. I don't know how it's going to be for you, but in my case, buying a home, particularly for the first time, man, what an eye-opener. You need someone on your side of the table who understands every nuance of the business. Perhaps it's more important now than ever before. That's what you always get with a realtor from Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. They've been my partner. I can tell you that when you go through this process, the line of communication is always going to be open. You're not going to call them and they're not going to return your call or answer your call or keep you informed on what's going on. That line of communication is going to be there at all times. Now, they've got an office in Fayetteville. They're in Springdale, Bentonville, Fort Smith, Branson, and you can always log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
Chuck, I know you were prepping at this point for the game, but the game before Arkansas featured Alabama and Missouri in Columbia. An incident happened on Tuesday night where you had Nate Oates push a Missouri player. He got a public reprimand from the SEC. Didn't get suspended, didn't get fined, just had basically Greg Sankey releasing a statement for his actions. Nate Oates' actions were unacceptable and violated the expectations for conduct and sportsmanship as established by the membership of the Southeastern Conference. I wouldn't even identify as this a slap on the wrist. I am disappointed that there was nothing past this point. He should have been suspended. He should have been fined. I know you probably didn't see it live at the time, but I'm very disappointed in the conference office today that they did not do anything further than just issuing a public statement in regards to Nate Oates.
I saw the replay of it, and it's not okay what he did. At least in my judgment, it's not. I was not watching the game, and so I didn't see everything that led up to it. And I don't mean just the preceding 30 seconds. I mean everything that maybe led up to that over several minutes. But obviously in a snapshot, what he did was out of line. Hey, that's just kind of how they do business within their basketball program. I mean, that's the personality of their basketball program. And I'm not knocking the results. They've been good. I'm not saying Oates is not a good coach. I'm saying that's right in line with his personality, and that's the personality of their basketball program. I'm not surprised that the SEC didn't do more than they did. I don't know that what he did warrants a fine and a suspension. I don't know if it does. I do think it probably deserved a technical foul and an ejection.
Yeah, nothing there.
I do think that. But from a conference perspective, I don't know exactly what they could have done. Because, look, if it doesn't matter to the school that employs you, and it doesn't. I mean, obviously, within that basketball program, it's been pretty much anything goes. So if it doesn't bother them, it's hard for the conference to come in and say, we care about this, and so we're going to suspend you and fine you. And I don't know that it really warranted that.
Yeah. I'll say it. I mean, Arkansas's bench is very emotional at times. I mean, and if something dusted up and right in front of the Arkansas bench, it's not out of the realm of possibility, or it's not hard to sit here and fathom something similar happening in front of Arkansas's bench.
And I would be just as critical if Eric Musselman did that to an opposing player as I am right now.
Well, let's not play the what-if game, though. It didn't happen. It hasn't happened. It happened at Alabama.
Right.
And it happened wherever that game was played, Tuscaloosa. I mean, we can talk all kinds of what-ifs. What if it happens here? What if it happens there? Well, it hasn't. It happened there. Well, and that's the reaction that we saw.
Yeah. Talking trash, even as a head coach, is completely different than putting your hands on a player. You would be – I mean, Chuck, you're right next to it, whether it's our bench or any other bench. I think we'd be surprised how much that occurs. But when it's the physical contact that set me off. And to your point, I know Greg Byrne's been busy with the Alabama football hire, but there hasn't – to my knowledge, he hadn't issued a statement. He hadn't issued anything because they don't care. I mean, that basketball program can
at least they haven't publicly.
Yeah, that can run amok or do whatever, as we've seen the last couple years. Football-wise, they bring in the championships, they bring in the revenue, so their football program is perceived to just be this incredible, the right way side of things. I don't believe any of that either. They've cheated before. They're just not going to get in trouble by the NCAA. But as far as their basketball team is concerned, they'll do whatever they want because we've seen it the last couple years. And this is just another indication of that point, like you kind of mentioned, Chuck.
Well, in defense of Oates, fans love the fiery demeanor. I mean, I've been here a long time. We loved it when Nolan would go crazy and wondered why Mike didn't go crazy like Nolan did, and loved the way Muss does it. And so fans like that stuff. They just don't want you to cross the line. Although I'm going to guess that the blowback within the state of Alabama for Nate Oates has been minimal at most. I just don't think it's an issue there.
I don't either. But you get Alabama.
I'm sorry, but fortunately it didn't escalate into something else, because to the point of the matter is, what if that had escalated into a full-on brawl?
Nate Oates would have gotten his butt kicked. That's what would have happened first.
That's what we were saying yesterday.
I mean, he'd have gotten hurt. That's what would have happened.
That's exactly right. So, hey, join ESPN Arkansas, the Morning Rush, our whole crew, as we support Arkansas Children's Northwest. We're going to do it all month long. We're helping raise money leading up to the Radiothon on February the 2nd. Go to hitthatline.com, click on the Morning Rush link. You'll see it there under the Children's Hospital tab. And donate now through February 2nd. We got a little competition going on between our show, halftime, and also between Ruskin and Zach. So donate now for a great cause with Arkansas Children's Northwest. Help them carry out their mission and their promise of making children better today and healthier tomorrow. It's brought to you by Honda of Fayetteville. Buy or lease your dream vehicle today. View inventory online at hondaoffayetteville.com or stop by their showroom inside the Fayetteville Auto Park.
All right, more to get to, including Eric Musselman on his team.
Join ESPN Arkansas in the Morning Rush in supporting Arkansas Children's Northwest all month long. We will be raising money to help Arkansas Children's Northwest fulfill its promise of making children better today and healthier tomorrow. You can donate now through February 2nd online at hitthatline.com. Be sure to click on the Morning Rush fundraising link brought to you by Honda of Fayetteville. Buy or lease your dream vehicle today. View online at hondaoffayetteville.com or stop by their showroom inside Fayetteville Auto Park.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Arkansas, are you watching this lotto jackpot? It's now more than $750,000. What makes this jackpot different? For starters, it's only one in Arkansas. There's a drawing every Wednesday and Saturday night, and the jackpot keeps growing until someone wins it all. Don't miss your chance to be that lucky someone. Get your lotto ticket today in stores or on the Jackpocket app. Good luck, Arkansas. This is winning. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Semaglutide and Teraziptide is a weight loss game changer. This is what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is offering a detailed program to all of Arkansas and Missouri, in office or telemedicine visits available. To schedule your medical consultation and get started on the #1 prescription choice by medical providers for safe and effective weight loss, call or text 479-343-8424. 479-343-8424.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news for the new year. Introducing Road Ready certified used cars, inspected and certified with a comprehensive warranty. You simply can't buy a better used car. Road Ready certified, only available at Rath Auto Resources. Another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Sunday morning. You can smell it. Game day. And the brisket you've been smoking since last night. A day to be with family, aka fellow football fans. Traditions make Sundays easy to enjoy. Beers do too. Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Billy, can I ask you a question?
You just did.
Seriously, we are getting a lot of positive comments about you. What's your secret?
Oh, I just follow the 4 W's.
4 W's? Aren't there 5?
5?
Yeah. What, where, when, why, and who?
Wes, who starts with an H?
That's how.
I don't know how. It just does.
No, who starts with a W?
You sure?
Positive.
Anywho, my 4 W's are, what would Wes want? I picture every customer like there's you asking for something. What you want is what they want. What would Wes want? WWWW 4 W's makes 8 U's.
Huh?
Treat customers like you, and it doubles the people. Pretty simple the way I see it.
4 W's. What would Wes want? Billy, you're brilliant.
Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see a gradual increase in the sunshine. Our high temperatures today, low to mid-40s. We'll see an increase in the clouds tonight, especially across the north. It'll be colder overnight. Lows will drop down right around the low teens north, right around 20 south. And then sunshine, low 20s north on Friday, low 30s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3.
This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
When you lose like we have of late, your confidence can get shaken. And I mean, all over the locker room, there's probably 40 signs in there that say, bring your swagger back. I mean, when we played Duke, we had swagger. We thought we were going to win the game. I know it's an exhibition game. I know nobody wants to hear it. I'm going to say it even though nobody wants to hear it. We had swagger when we played Purdue. And we need that back. And the only way to truly, truly get it back is to play well.
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McCarthy Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Yes, sir.
Getting that swagger back. It's very important on Tuesday night, as you heard from Eric Musselman post-game, and trying to, again, push that into Saturday in a matchup against the Gamecocks in South Carolina. 12 o'clock is the start tip-off. We're excited. Chuck and Z will be courtside, start at 11:30, and then Big C and Matt Jones will have your Hog reaction following the game. Now, one of the key pieces, not just in Tuesday night, but a good chunk of this season has been Tremont Mark, who went for a career-high 35 against the Aggies. And I want to, again, put him in comparison to a certain player that Arkansas had last year, because I think it's a good one, and we'll do that coming up.
Chuck, you and Coach will be back at Sassy's next week. Sassy's Barbecue and Grill off the Weddington exit. There's 2 locations in Fayetteville, but that's where you'll find Eric Musselman live. A lot of weeks during the regular season. You can stop in and watch the show and whatever other college basketball. I guess it'd be Big Monday on the TVs by then, and you can enjoy those smoked wings or baby back ribs or their brisket. If you're having a group over to watch one of the road games, maybe you need a tailgate, or a Razor Pack, you can order those online at sassy'sbarbecue.com. And don't forget they have happy hour at both locations from 3 to 6. Eric Musselman Live coming back next week when it comes to barbecue, catfish, burgers, and more. Nobody does it better than Sassy's. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
The mid-range shot is pretty much out of the game of basketball, with the exception of a handful of players in the NBA and college. For Arkansas, though, you've had a guy pretty much every year that plays with it. Jimmy Witt, Ricky Council, and Tremont Mark. And Coach was talking about that on Tuesday night.
Coach, I know that all the analytics people talk about, mid-range being a bad shot. It's been a really good shot for us at Arkansas. Jimmy Witt, Ricky Council, T. Mark. It's a great shot for him, not a good shot. I mean, he's a lethal pull-up jump shooter, 12 to 17 foot. Look, he had 35 points on 15 field goals attempted. Our guys did a great job of finding him, even his 2 threes. I know they were off spot-up assists.
Guys, Tremont Mark is this year's Ricky Council. Comes in, Ricky was at one point the 6th man of the year in his conference at Wichita State. Mark was on a good Houston team. You think about what happened in Ricky's role here at last year. His minutes increased by over 20%. He shifted into a starter, and he closed out that Kansas game in Des Moines, Iowa. I hope Tremont has that opportunity in the NCAA tournament. He's scoring 8 more points a game this year than he was at Houston. And on top of all that, he's shooting 14% better. Both guys are 6'6". One's a lefty, one's a righty. I'd say Ricky's more athletic. Tremont's a better shooter. They're both good defenders. Guys, I think he's this year's Ricky Council, in my opinion.
I honestly, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I think he's honestly got to be even more. And I don't think that's fair, but I think he's got to be. Ricky did not have to carry the team on his shoulders on the offensive end of the floor last year, and I'm afraid Tremont's going to, whether it's fair or not. I'm just afraid that's what's going to happen. He was a really, really good player on a really, really good Houston team. I mean, top 5 team. He was a starter. But he wasn't the guy that was shouldering all the burden. And I'm not saying he's shouldering all the burden here, but he's shouldering a lot of it. And you got to remember, too, Devo guards the best player, generally speaking. Mark, generally speaking, guards the second best player. And then you are calling on him to essentially do everything on the other end. Back to your point, though, on mid-range shots, good players hit shots from all over the floor. Analytics sometimes, those numbers also involve players that aren't as good, that don't have the basketball smarts. I don't know where the analytic is for that. But Mark, to me, really understands his game. He understands how to play the game, generally. And good players do that. Good players do that. Mark's better beyond the arc than perhaps he gets credit for. I think he's 37, 38%. It's serviceable beyond the arc. But he's a good player. And good players can hit it from the short corner. They can hit it from the elbow. They can hit it from the top of the circle. They'll make a corner 3. Good shooters, good players, good competitors, and Mark's all of those.
Yeah, and to your point, he was 2 of 3 in the A&M game from behind the 3-point line. So
he doesn't take a lot of them, and he's efficient.
But I bet if you went back and looked at them all pieced together on a clip or whatever, on a YouTube video, I bet they're all open looks too.
Well, he doesn't go looking to shoot the 3.
Yeah.
Some guys go looking to shoot the 3, and they need to look to shoot it from somewhere else.
Well, and you can tell by, I talked earlier about playing 40 minutes, and that's important. Maybe another important number for the other night is he was fouled 13 times. And obviously you get fouled a bunch when you shoot 22 free throws. But, there is talent, there is skill into absorbing contact, still getting the shot, getting to the line. We act like you just run in there and somebody hits you and you get the call. That's not how it works. There is skill into making those plays.
And some of those are hard fouls. Going to the line and shooting a couple of free throws after a hard foul You take it for granted sometimes.
Yeah.
What happened in
Good
the North
point.
Carolina game? He goes, he gets, I thought his back was broken at that point. And he somehow, we haven't even brought up the fact that he looked like serious. He was in a wheelchair.
He had to get an MRI.
He was in a wheelchair like the next 2 days or whatever it was. So this is a kid that, again, had something that happened earlier this season. You asked an important question a week or so ago that I don't think Razorback fans know whose team it is. Last year,
I asked who's the best player on this team.
80% would tell you probably Anthony Black, and deservedly so. Maybe 20% would say Ricky Council. This year's team, kind of like you're alluding to, Chuck, if Arkansas is going to get to that point, it might have to be where it's predominantly the answer is Tremont Mark. And he's going to
that means no nights off. It means every night I don't know, he's got to be 35, but probably got to be north of 20.
And he's going to take some body blows this year. This is one of the most physical leagues, if not the most physical league in college basketball. The athleticism, the paint, what you have to go through to get a bucket. And that's what Arkansas's MO is. Again, as a top 5 team in the country, getting to the free throw line. And Mark, again, as the supposed leader of this team, that might be his best attribute, is just getting guys to foul him.
I think they'll look to him on the floor. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think he's got to be their best player on the floor for Arkansas to go as far as they can go. Look, there are some players on this team that we thought were going to be big producers who just aren't. Simple as that. And I don't know how else to put it. I'm not naming names, pointing fingers. There's not a lot of them out there, so you can figure it out. Mark took up everybody's slack. Mark took up everybody's slack, and he had.
Yeah.
And, again, you were comparing him to Council a little bit earlier. That's a good comparison, but I think Mark's going to be called upon to do even more, fair or not.
But none of these guys are AB from last year. They're just not. And
first-round draft pick, yeah, you're right.
Well, yeah, but hey,
that's not
one
fair
thing I do want to point out, the chasm between college basketball and the NBA. Look at Black and these guys, first-round picks, great players, as good as you have in the country. And cracking that rotation in the NBA is really, really hard to do.
Yeah, AB hadn't started every game this season, but when he's played, he's looked good.
Yeah, but there have been a lot more games he hasn't played than he has played.
Yeah. By the way, I want to congratulate Jordan Walsh, who made his Boston Celtics debut last night. He got 3 or 4 rebounds. I saw Muss putting something out about that. So congratulations to Jordan. All right, when we come back, we'll stick to the professional side of things, but go to NFL. Did Mike McCarthy or did Jerry Jones make the right decision?
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is The Morning Rush.
Kobe Hamilton! Can you believe it? How do I drive more traffic to my website? How do I increase my Google rankings? If these are just a few of the questions you have for your business, then we should talk. In addition to sports radio marketing, ESPN Arkansas can help your business be found online. From website design to geo-targeted campaigns, search engine marketing, social media management, streaming video campaigns, and much more. ESPN Arkansas is your digital marketing partner. Go to espnarkansasdigital.com for your free digital marketing audit or email us at sales@hitthatline.com to schedule an appointment.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing. Subiaco in Scranton, if you made a resolution to get reliable internet for the new year, Wave Rural Connect can make that happen. The latest zone covering Subiaco in Scranton is now open. Make this New Year's resolution come true with internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or phone 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else. My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's. Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Gelco Outdoors is ready to help keep you warm during the cold winter days. Keep warm in insulated bib overalls, jackets, coats, vests, socks, gloves, boots, and underwear. Warm up with great savings on the 50% off clearance racks of men's, women's, and children's casual wear. Gelco has a great selection of Little Buddy space heaters. Gelco Outdoors, your local store for cold winter gear. Be safe and stay warm from Gelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
Jerry Jones is sticking with his guy, Mike McCarthy. All one playoff win of Mike McCarthy. Albeit they've gone 12-5 the last 3 years in the regular season. They did have a good offense and defense this year, both ranking within the top 5. But 4 years, one playoff win. Our Morning Rush Daily Question, did he make the right decision? Here's what Jerry Jones had to say in regards to his head coach. I believe the team is very close and capable of achieving our ultimate goals. And the best step forward will be with Mike McCarthy as our head coach. While we're all disappointed with the result on Sunday and with our playoff record, I am 100% supportive as him as our head coach and the ability to reach our goals. Going on 30 years without an NFC championship or Super Bowl appearance. Super Bowl, of course, is the head goal for Jerry Jones. Guys, did he make the right decision? The answer to this question is yes, if he couldn't get Jim Harbaugh. I'm not a believer in Bill Belichick being a guy that can take a franchise either close or dwindling and turn it to a Super Bowl team. I just don't think he's got much left. But if Jim Harbaugh was in play for this job, if he speculated going to Dallas, Texas, then he made the wrong decision. If not, just kind of whatever. We'll see what happens.
I never heard Harbaugh's name mentioned in connection with the
either.
Cowboys in any form or fashion. And, you know, I don't think Harbaugh is necessarily going to be an instant success in the NFL. I mean, the head coach doesn't always control the personnel in the NFL. And I don't know that I don't know that it's going to work for Harbaugh as well as it did for him when he was in the league before. We may find out, we may not. Answer to your question, though, is I'll say what I said Monday. If changing coaches was the answer, the Cowboys would have plenty of rings over the last 25 years. I mean, they've changed coaches. Mike McCarthy's a great coach. Bill Parcells is a Hall of Fame coach. Bill Parcells didn't do it. Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl with Green Bay. Maybe it's not Mike McCarthy.
Well, then who is it, Chuck?
I think. Well, my point is that in the NFL, we employ a college mentality because the college team is our team. Everything's somebody's fault. It's either the head coach's fault or it's the athletic director's fault. It's somebody's fault. There's always something to pin it on. I think it's harder to do that in pro sports because, the NFL's a players' league.
Yeah.
I had a former Razorback describe it to me this way. When you walk into the building in college football, the most important person is the head coach. When you walk in the building in professional football, the most important person is the starting quarterback. And that's how it works. It's a players' league. That's a long answer of saying I don't think he made the wrong decision keeping Mike McCarthy. I don't think it's Mike McCarthy's fault that they got beat the other night. I will say this. They weren't ready to play. And in college football, you generally say that's because of the head coach. Now, maybe it's because of the head coach in the pros too, but I have more of a tendency to blame the players in the pros than I do in college.
Ty and I were talking about this before the show this morning, and my thought, and I mentioned this before you came on, is why change Mike McCarthy if you're not willing to go out and do what it takes to get an elite quarterback? I just don't think Dak's an elite quarterback. He's a lot like Romo. He's going to win you a lot of games. He's going to keep you in double-digit wins. You're going to win some divisions. But Dak's not the guy that's going to get you a Super Bowl. He's just not. I think we all know it. We've all seen it. So what good does it do, to your point, what good does it do to fire McCarthy and bring someone else in? I don't think a new coach and a new voice in the ear of Dak Prescott's going to change the interceptions or change his level of play or get him to even an NFC championship game.
Well, now let me say this. There have been far worse quarterbacks than Dak Prescott win Super Bowls. Far worse. Dallas, in my mind, when you look at what happened this year and what they did going into the season in terms of personnel, they were deficient in terms of playmakers at wide receiver beyond C.D. Lamb.
Yep.
They had a bunch of possession guys, and they had C.D. Lamb. Running back, they were fine. Offensive line, I thought they were fine. Quarterback, good enough. Defensively, I mean, it was the defense that carried them. It was the defense early on that made a lot of people talk about them as a legit Super Bowl contender. And yet they get to the first round of the playoffs, and they're blown assignments all over the field. They were tissue soft. They gave up runs. They weren't what they were earlier in the season, or maybe the other teams had gotten better. I don't know. So when I look at it, they've dealt with a lot of issues, but for whatever reason, the winning edge has just not come their way.
Yeah. So, but you look at the quarterbacks the last 4 or 5 years. Mahomes last year, who was the quarterback for the Rams? Stafford. Then you had Tom Brady. Then you had Mahomes. Then what? Brady before that.
Carson Wentz.
Was with the Eagles. Then Brady.
There's only in the last 10,
I guess the
Prescott's
Broncos
better than Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I'll always give it. I'll say this: there's only, and that was actually, that was Nick Foles. That was big.
Or Foles.
Yeah. Foles got in, Wentz got injured. So that was his.
Just going back to
Big Nick. But no, to Tommy's point, you look at the last decade or so, with the exception of 1 or 2 years, it's all been Hall of Fame QBs, and I like Trent Dilfer in 2000 with that Ravens team. That was all about their defense. Dilfer was just along for the ride. Rare is it now, at this point in the National Football League, that you can't win without a Hall of Fame quarterback. I mean, just look at the last 5 years. Brady, Mahomes, Stafford. All three of those guys. Now, 2 of those are unlike the other, but Stafford's still a Hall of Fame quarterback. You can't win in today's day and age. Like, that's what I said about San Francisco. As good as San Francisco is, offensively and defensively, Baltimore broke them down, man. Broke them down. Purdy, when push comes to shove, if they come out of the NFC, he's not beating Mahomes. He's not beating Lamar Jackson. He's not beating Josh Allen. He's not beating that elite quarterback that comes out of the AFC because it ain't going to be C.J. Stroud. I like C.J. Stroud. He ain't winning the AFC. You, in today's day and age in the National Football League, you have to have that Hall of Fame equivalent, or you're not going to win a Super Bowl. Now, you might get to an NFC championship with Dak, but you're not going to win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott.
Well, you may be right about that. I don't know that you have to have a Hall of Fame guy back there, but it certainly is nice when you do. But you've got to have a complete team too. You've got to have a complete team, and the thing with the Cowboys is they're pretty much stuck with Dak from a contractual standpoint. And I don't know what the alternative is there. People say, well, and look, I've said it too. He's not a guy that you're going to win a Super Bowl with. But I don't know how you make that change right now. Contractually, I don't know how they make that change without affecting a lot of other parts on the team. I just don't know. Maybe there's a way.
Well, to the greater point I think we're all driving at, how many of those guys are out there? Yes, there's 32 starting quarterbacks.
Well,
but
right.
How many
they
are
don't
there?
Grow them.
6 or 8, maybe? I mean, so, we say it as though it's easy. We'll just go get one. Well, I think there's only about 10 on the planet. Maybe. And there may not be that many. Maybe
too, look at the way the Lions were broken down before they were built back up. Look at, the Rams. I know they had some success, but, they went down and Stafford went out there. And some of these franchises that have done well, some of them have kind of followed the baseball model where you break everything down and then build it back up around that guy that you hope's a Hall of Fame quarterback. It's just, it's hard to do. The Cowboys are in a little bit different spot in that regard. It would be hard for them to tank for a year or two. It would just be hard for that franchise to do that. But I know it's frustrating.
Well,
it frustrates me, I promise you.
Well, I will say, as bad as it went against Green Bay, it was nice. And I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I did love hearing from the Hall of Famer Jimmy Johnson at half.
I don't need to have people pointing the fingers one thing or another. You get your rear end in there and you play the way you know how to play. We can win the game. We're going to open it up. We're going to go fast tempo. Defense, get after Jordan Love. You can't give him that much time. You do what you're supposed to do, we'll win this game.
He's 80 years old. He's still got a little fire. I don't know if he could coach anymore, but I did enjoy watching that on Fox, and Strahan gets down in like a 3-point stance. It was they've got a good crew. That was entertaining.
Yeah, they are fun. All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question. It is brought to you by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs. They are Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by V's Barbershop with 2 locations in Rogers and Bentonville. Visit V's Barbershop online at vbarbershop.com or in person and see why V's is a cut above the rest.
And we now bring in our friend Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, and Whole Hog Sports to the conversation. Tom, do you think the Dallas Cowboys made a right decision on sticking with Mike McCarthy?
Good morning, guys. That's a heck of a poser for me right to start here. I can't get into the middle of – look, Dallas had a really good year, and they got upset in the playoffs by a team that has a lot of momentum. I feel for them. I like Dak personally, and I hope they have a better season next year. I did kind of want them to hire Bill Belichick, so the Falcons didn't touch him, but we'll see how that goes.
I saw the Falcons interviewed not just Bill Belichick, but Jim Harbaugh. If given the choice of only those 2 candidates, Tom, which one would you roll with?
Well, I mean, they also hired a lot of defensive coordinators currently in the league. Harbaugh would be intriguing because, he's been in the NFL before and been successful. So, I don't know if you want to call it a theory or whatever about the Spurriers and the Sabans of the world who tried their hand in the NFL and weren't successful. Well, Harbaugh did it the reverse way, kind of. And so he's proven to be able to build successful programs on both the collegiate and professional levels. His San Francisco teams were really good.
Just
they beat us in the playoffs.
Yeah. Would the quirkiness work in today's NFL? I mean, he's got a quirky personality. His brother seems to make it work. They're different creatures, but I just wonder if his personality would work with these players.
That's a great question, and I mean it did with the Niners back when, and but it's the league, I guess, and attitudes maybe have evolved since Harbaugh was last in the league. But I don't know, with a proven track record, if you treat people right, you can get good results out of them. And so I don't know. I don't know what he'll end up doing. He's in a weird position. He didn't coach in, 6 of the games, and yet he's got a ton of leverage now too. So you could tell Michigan is trying to work out a deal with him, and maybe that will be the end result. But I don't know. Of all the people we've talked to, Harbaugh seems like it'd be an interesting guy to bring on board, and maybe we could find a good, productive quarterback and find our way next year.
It's always nice when your options on the table are being rich or richer. I mean, that's just kind of where he's at. Hey, let's talk about this basketball game the other night, and then we'll peek ahead to Saturday's game. Arkansas with a thrilling victory at the end, Tom, after holding a 20-point lead in the first half. Tremont Mark was phenomenal with 35 points. You saw it slip away. Arkansas got the benefit of the A&M timeout, and Mark makes the game-winning shot.
Yeah, no doubt. The script was flipped a little. I mean, they had a huge lead, and you're like, wow. They get up 20 points. A&M was ice cold. I mean, Tyrese Radford just kept shooting, and it wasn't his night, and he just kept driving, and he kept shooting, and he kept missing, and the lead got bigger and bigger. But, facing reality, if they had lost that game, that would have been one of the most bone-crushing losses you could have imagined. So, but as Eric Musselman said, they got the ball into the hands of the guy they wanted it to, and Tremont Mark at the end of the game. I was surprised. I had gone down. I had already filed my notebook by then and was watching in the media room. And after the Taylor 3, there was an immediate timeout. I'm like, I thought Arkansas was out of timeouts. A&M called it. It went, no question, it went to Arkansas's benefit. I was a little surprised they didn't pressure more in the front court. Mark had, as he said, a head of steam. I mean, rolling toward the basket past midcourt, and it worked out perfectly for them. It goes through with a 1.1, and then A&M really doesn't get up any kind of a quality deal. The ball goes out of bounds. So huge win for the Razorbacks, because if you couldn't have imagined being 0-4 with a loss like that, coming through.
Tom, you're talking about Tremont Mark. Do you think he can shoulder the load that's going to be necessary for this team to keep winning games?
Well, he's a proven scorer. I mean, and he's got his game is so good that, as Eric Musselman pointed out, his mid-range jumper is a good one. That's the type of shot he made there. A little closer than, I don't know, I guess mid-range starts around 8 or 10 feet. But they do need, Trevor Brazile played a bunch of minutes in that game. And it seems to me that his personality is such that he doesn't have to be kind of the lead dog guy, but he's a guy who's thought of as a high potential NBA draft pick. I would want him to be a little bit more forceful sometimes, Tremont Mark like, and just doing it, sometimes. And I don't know how this team's going to evolve. It's interesting that, you have a really good team. Everyone has to kind of accept their roles. And in this game, Mark and L. Ellis and a few other guards played, and it came at the expense of Khalif, his minutes, and Pinion, who had got minutes in the last game, and Blocker, and even Keon Minifield a little bit. So those guys can produce. This to me has just been a fascinating study in how you take a super talented roster and try to dole out the minutes. And it's a game-to-game basis. Who's following the game plan? And that's what Musselman pointed out after the game. Who's following the game plan and doing the things we need? And I hope to see more battle in the coming games. But certainly Mark proved that he can handle, not just a game-winning shot deal, but like the load of the offense almost the entire game.
Tom, you bring up L. Ellis. His 3 biggest games were the exhibition game against Purdue, where he took over in overtime, the game against Duke. He's playing basically his hometown team. He goes for 6 of 6, has a solid game. And then, again, Tuesday night, their first SEC win. While he didn't shoot the ball great, 3 of 11, he knocked down all 8 of his free throws, had 6 rebounds, a career high. I mean, do you see him being a steady Eddie, their point guard, maybe over Minifield like we thought he might transition, just based on his veteran aspect, and he's just a little thicker than Keon is?
Well, I mean, that's the million-dollar question, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he can do it because he had that long stint where he didn't get very many minutes. But, you know, the little thicker part you bring up, yeah, that really paid off with his rebounding. I mean, he played bigger than his size, and the free throw shooting was phenomenal and much needed. They had a much better free throw shooting first half. Second half, not so much. But Ellis was in there, and I do think that earned him more minutes moving forward. He had a pretty good game against Old Dominion also. And I talked to Jeff Jones, and by the way, prayers to him with his health situation. But he talked about when it came crunch time, Ellis and these veterans took over that game. And so we've seen how good Arkansas can be. It's just a matter of can they produce this level of effort on a night-to-night basis starting Saturday with South Carolina.
All right, so you get South Carolina. They're coming off a loss to Georgia, 74-69, same night Arkansas played on Tuesday night. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. They've certainly a much better program this year. Lamont Paris, good turnaround. I mean, you take Ole Miss, South Carolina, and probably Georgia as the three teams that have, you know, kind of switched around their mojo from last year. You know, if Georgia had held on in that home game against Tennessee where they came back from so far down and then built an 11-point lead, and then Connect took over and they lost it. If Georgia had held on to that game, we'd really be talking about them because that was a big deal going to South Carolina and winning. So Michie Johnson, he's going to get his. You've just got to rebound with them. And to me, rebounding is a big, big deal of Arkansas holding on and improving as we move forward here. So I look at it as somewhat of a toss-up game. Whoever shoots the ball well, rebounds, and makes their free throws will have the best chance to win.
All right, Tom, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy, hopefully, what's some warmer weather, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. See y'all. All
right, Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, with us on the McClarty-Daniel hotline. Chuck, it's a noon game on Saturday. Dealing with B.J. Mack, their power forward, their guy that's their leading rebounder. I'm sure that's mission number one on Saturday is how to not get crushed on the glass.
Yeah, I thought it was funny there. Tom said right at the end, it's a toss-up. And I thought to myself, pretty much every game they play is going to be that way. You can say that, and you talked about how game by game the rotation changes, and it does. And, because of that sometimes, I think you go into every game understanding it's going to be a totally new adventure. And if you base what you think is going to happen today on what happened last time out, you've got a pretty good chance of being mistaken. All of us do. I certainly include myself in that. I can tell you when you fill out, and you guys have done this, when you fill out your score sheets and you get ready to do a game, it's only natural you fill them out in order of the guys you think are going to play the most, and you don't always know who the first five are going to be because you do this a day or two in advance. But my point is, by this point in the season, I can do it by heart. I mean, this player's going to play here. He's going to play about this number of minutes. Now, I got guys at the bottom of my score sheet starting. Ellis hadn't scored a point in SEC play, so it stands to reason you put him at the bottom of the chart. And then, lo and behold, he's in the starting lineup as maybe his best game of the year. So it's still that way with his team. And it may be that way during the remainder of the month. You just got to keep winning. That's the spot that they're in right now. They're in a hole. They've got to dig out of it. Certainly Saturday's game's important. And that is coming up. Weekend's coming up. If you want to look good, V's Barbershop's the place you need to go. They'll have you ready to roll for the weekend. The thing about V's, and if, you're one of these people that remembers the time when you went to the barbershop on the same day every week, maybe you went with your dad or your granddad, it was a ritual. It's that way at V's Barbershop. You're going to feel that when you walk in. But there's also the new stuff. And we do like our creature comforts, and I'm one of those people too. There's a television there. You've got a comfortable place to sit. First off, it's a leather chair, which is nice. But you can get away. You can watch the news. You can watch a ball game. And when you walk out, you're going to look sharp. It's a lot more than just a haircut. and they recognize that at V's Barbershop. But it does have that feel of maybe a day gone by. Now, they've got 2 locations in Northwest Arkansas. They're in the Pleasant Crossing Shopping Center in Rogers. They're also on Southwest 14th Street in Bentonville. 2 locations in West Little Rock. And you can always log on to vbarbershop.com.
You know, you mentioned L. Ellis there, Chuck. Muss made sure to talk about them at the end of y'all's conversation on Tuesday night.
I will say this. Let's give a big shout-out to L. Ellis, career high in rebounds.
So Ellis talked about after the game that he's never really been in this situation before. You think about last year. He played 36 minutes a game at Louisville. The year before he played 20. Guys, this year he's only averaging 15. There's games he started. There's games he's been yanked within like the first minute, and then he's not come back in. He hadn't played a lot in SEC play that you mentioned. So I will give him credit 4 games into conference play for all the whirlwind that's happened this year. And some of it's been on his own account. I think we can admit that. He was ready to play and start on Tuesday night, and he still felt like in practice when asked, hey, one's go out there, execute this play, he ran out there and did the plays, what Muss was talking about.
Well, there's got to be consistency now. I mean, that's the thing. You've got to develop consistency as a team. And it was a good win. It was nice to win the ball game, and now you've got to come out and you got to beat South Carolina. I've never been a proponent of the one-game season mentality until you get maybe right down at the end. But I think right now when you're digging out of the hole, all you can really focus on is what you're doing next. And they got to beat South Carolina.
All right, it's going to be a fun game. Noon on Saturday. You can hear it here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. You know, we're blessed to be nestled right here in the Ozarks with one of the most productive trout fisheries and trout streams in really the world, but certainly the top one in North America. People don't realize how special the White River is and the quality of the trout fishing, and you should take time to go explore it. If you've never trout fished, but maybe enjoy fishing, or maybe you just want to see what we've been talking about for years, Gaston's White River Resort is the place to stay for a lot of reasons. They got great accommodations. They got the winter rates right now, but they got the top guides on the White River that can really show you what it's all about with one of the best trout fisheries in all of the world. 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McCarthy Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McCarthy Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarthy Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarthy Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarthy Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
If you hope heaven has a bar, it's guaranteed that you'll be bounced and barred.
Heaven is reserved for those who have put their hope in God's Word. Jesus said you must be born again by trusting in Him, or you won't see the kingdom of heaven. God set the bar so high, that's why Jesus had to die. If you refuse God's last call, the Holy Spirit will serve you a fireball. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith, or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Oh, yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship. The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, so Eric Musselman mentioned something in the post-game press conference with Chuck, just talking about everyone in the state knew we had to get a win on Tuesday night. Well, try this one more time. Good old technology. All right, we're going to move on for this until it comes back. We got a text from Rusty on the McCarthy Daniel hotline asking about the status of Quincy McAdoo. I saw that Hutch and Hog Sports were also reporting that he is taking a medical hardship for this year. And then Quincy on social media said, counting me out before the doctors say is crazy. So I don't, again, Rusty, your question, I don't know the for sure answer on that. We've seen, again, a conflicting things from both Quincy and then other reports. I don't know what's going to happen with his status.
I'd be surprised if he plays football at Arkansas. I'd be surprised by that. I hope he does, but I'd be surprised.
I'm with you. I mean, first of all, just knowing some of the details of the accident, he's blessed and lucky to be alive, number one. Number two, he's got youth on his side to make a recovery, but there's a lot more to it behind the scenes than I think even any of us know, or certainly dealing with the families, the doctors, the liability, the risk. We've seen a few. Who was the guy that had the neck injury that happened on the field?
Eric LaGrange, the Rutgers guy?
No. At Arkansas on the face mask play when Bielema was the coach. Raleigh, you just get certain plays where the risk of the injury and the severity of the consequences of further injury can be more than what coaches feel comfortable putting someone on the field or administrators put. So I think there's just a lot more to it than just, hey, he's healthy and a doctor's cleared him and he's ready to play. I just think there's a lot more conversations that go on we're not aware of.
So we'll see. Hopefully there'll be a full explanation at some point. I don't know if we'll ever get that, but when it comes to his status, not just for this year, but
at some point there will be a conclusion on this. He will either play or he will not play. And if he wants to reveal his medical business to us, he can. And if he doesn't, he's under no obligation to do so. So I don't, to say we'll ever know the full story. I mean, I don't know that we're entitled to that. I think ultimately he'll either play or he won't, and we'll see that. And that's, we're not really entitled to anything more information-wise than that.
I can just tell you from knowing some details of that accident, the young man is lucky to be with us.
Oh. All right, we're going to try this one more time. Must, are you there?
It's a huge win for us. Obviously we knew it was a must-win. Everybody did. Everybody in the state knew it was. And I'm really proud of the way we started the game. We haven't played well to start games. We started the game the right way. We got a lead.
We kind of brought it up earlier. I mean, it can't just be this win on Tuesday night. You got a South Carolina team, Tommy, that you mentioned, lost on Tuesday at home to Georgia, so they're not trying to go 0-2 this week. Guys, the SEC is as competitive as I've seen. Jimmy Dykes was on here a week or so ago and talked about he feels 8 or 9 teams are going to make the NCAA tournament. LSU's better than I thought they'd be. They beat Ole Miss last night. Kentucky's about as salty as it gets. There's a huge game on Saturday for Tennessee. You got a ranked matchup between Ole Miss and Auburn in the jungle. I mean, you go on the road, and Arkansas's lucky this week that they have both games at home. You go on the road, it is a dogfight each and every night. And Arkansas's got to go to Oxford next week, and then they'll welcome in Kentucky before they play South Carolina this week.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You're just trying to play your way back into the conversation of being in the middle of the pack. Right now, you're clearly in the bottom 3. A few more wins, and maybe you can talk about being out of the first day of the SEC tournament. I'll go back to the number I gave before the A&M game. You got to win 11 of 15 to get to 20 wins in the regular season. They won the first one. Now you got to win 10 of 14. It's an uphill battle, Chuck, just to even scare a conversation about tournament or postseason. This is a one-game-at-a-time deal.
Well, it is. And let's not forget, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ty. I think they were 18-13 going into the conference tournament last year.
Sounds right.
And ended up in the Sweet 16. So I do think that obviously for this team to be mentioned in terms of the postseason, the real postseason, you got to rip off some wins. I don't know that you got to get to 20, but you got to rip off some wins. And all you can do is look at the schedule and start adding it up, and you've got to dig out of the hole. You're still in a hole, but you're better off than you were when the week started.
It's math. It's math at this point.
Yeah,
and it's easy math too, which is nice for me.
At all, and not just you, all of us at that point. All right, last thing here. We mentioned Jordan Walsh. He played in his debut last night for the Boston Celtics. Congrats to Jordan. Had 4 rebounds in 3 minutes. Then also, Chuck, I will not be there on Saturday. I'll be watching, but I need you to grab me one of the Must bobbleheads they're giving away. Apparently
I've heard that. You're about the 3rd or 4th request I've gotten on that, so maybe I can grab a handful.
I don't know how many they are giving away.
I don't know either.
They didn't list that, but we could use one for the office.
Yeah, you got the Must bobblehead, and I'm sure Matt Zimmerman will have his own bobblehead now that he's the sportscaster of the year. Do you get an assist on this, Chuck?
I don't think so.
You should get an assist.
He needs to buy you dinner.
No, this is happy for him, Matt. So Matt works really hard, and he wants to be good. So congratulations to him.
Pride of St. Vincent, Arkansas, man. That's
I'm marking you down for an assist.
We got two sportscasters here. We got a sportscaster and writer Hall of Famer and a sportscaster of the year, I think 2 or 3 times, and then Z first timer as well. So basketball broadcast well in hand when it comes to Razorback basketball. That's going to do it for your Hog Update this morning. It is brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Chuck, I know you're interested to know that Taylor Swift's cat, Olivia, is worth more than Travis Kelce. Her cat is worth nearly $100 million based on her social media presence, and Travis is only worth $40 million.
I don't understand social media worth. I don't know, but just because if your cat's worth $100 million, what does that really mean? It means if I sell my cat that I love, I'm going to get $100 million for this cat. What does that really mean?
Yeah. Here's what it really means: go down to your friendly banker. Run over there to Arvest or pick your favorite bank, and see if they'll give you a 50% loan on that value. See if they'll take that cat in on collateral. See how far you get with that conversation.
Does her presence improve because of the cat, or is the cat just a beneficiary of Taylor Swift's popularity? That's a question for a mind greater than mine to ponder.
I think it's the latter. I think it's
what is social media worth? And because you've got a bunch of followers, there's some attached value because of the potential advertising.
What does it mean?
I get, but.
I mean, it's like we got a radio station, we got all this clout that we spread, and
I don't think anybody's saying, "Hey, you seen Taylor Swift's cat? It's really popular. Maybe we need to latch on to Taylor Swift." I think they've already made their call there.
Maybe PetSmart or another clothing brand for
who knows.
Go see your banker and try to get a loan against that value. See how far that conversation takes you.
Hog caller in Huntsville texted on the McCarthy Daniel hotline saying if he owned a cat that was worth that much, he would sell the cat. I think a lot of our audience feels the same way. Brad says, I can't use the word that he said, but he said that cat would be on the Facebook Marketplace ASAP when it comes to that. All right, well, you got that on a Too Stupid Thursday. I know all of you were curious about Taylor Swift's cat.
Absolutely. McCarthy Daniel hotline open, 877-377-6963 with 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville. A good deal is never far away. They're always online at McCartyDaniel.com.
I want to talk about the Pansy Texas basketball team coming up.
Join ESPN Arkansas in the Morning Rush in supporting Arkansas Children's Northwest all month long. We will be raising money to help Arkansas Children's Northwest fulfill its promise of making children better today and healthier tomorrow. You can donate now through February 2nd online at hitthatline.com. Be sure to click on the Morning Rush fundraising link brought to you by Honda of Fayetteville. Buy or lease your dream vehicle today. View online at hondaoffayetteville.com or stop by their showroom inside Fayetteville Auto Park.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roger Scott for Leaf Guard of Arkansas. Attention homeowners, winter is here and so is the 2024 January Winter Savings Sale. Your chance to upgrade your home with Leaf Guard's exclusive offer. We're on the lookout for 50 savvy homeowners to join our winter savings event. Now this offer is for new orders only and doesn't include material costs, but you contact our knowledgeable sales associates for all the details. Drum roll please. All right, that's a one-handed drum roll. It's just not the same thing. But 50 lucky homeowners will enjoy an amazing half off on labor for a complete Leaf Guard system. Yeah, that's right, half off. But that's not all. Inquire about our 18 months no interest financing. Also have special discounts for seniors and military personnel. With a minimum purchase and approved credit, your dream upgrade is within reach. Imagine a spring without mucking, mud, and shingle grit. Leaf Guard gutters are the only true one-piece seamless covered gutter system on the market, guaranteed to never clog. Check us out at 501-664-5400 or visit LeafGuardandMore.com to secure your spot in the 2024 January Winter Savings Sale. Leaf Guard, your ticket to a worry-free home this winter.
This is the Morning Rush.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news for the new year. Introducing Road Ready Certified used cars, inspected and certified with a comprehensive warranty. You simply can't buy a better used car. Road Ready Certified, only available at Rath Auto Resources. Another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, The Paint Store, Van Buren.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see a gradual increase in the sunshine. Our high temperatures today, low to mid-40s. We'll see an increase in the clouds tonight, especially across the north. It'll be colder overnight. Lows will drop down right around the low teens north, right around 20 south. And then sunshine, low 20s north on Friday, low 30 south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
When you lose like we have of late, your confidence can get shaken. And I mean, all over the locker room, there's probably 40 signs in there that say, bring your swagger back. I mean, when we played Duke, we had swagger. We thought we were going to win the game. I know it's an exhibition game. I know nobody wants to hear it. I'm going to say it even though nobody wants to hear it. We had swagger when we played Purdue. And we need that back. And the only way to truly, truly get it back is to play well.
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious
matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McCarthy Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Yes, sir.
Well, you hope that wasn't just one game on Tuesday night. You hope the Arkansas basketball swagger that we've seen the last 3 years comes alive like it has at kind of the middle point of conference play. I know you're 4 games in. You got South Carolina Gamecocks on Saturday, 12 o'clock. We're excited to get back to it. Now, swagger's not often found in Austin, Texas. In fact, the opposite of that. In the Moody Center, the rebuilt arena, which I'll give Texas credit for, is very nice, even though the entrance from the locker rooms looks like a certain something that I don't know if we can necessarily say on these airwaves. But they lost last night to UCF at home after being up by 16. And their coach did not take too kindly about the UCF players doing the horns down right before the post-game handshake. We'll address that coming up on a Too Stupid Thursday.
Hey, we're brought to you by Riley Farm Dental. At the entrance to Riley Farms, they provide every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry to braces to implants, cosmetics, and now even same-day crowns. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give their patients better lives with a better smile and a comfortable experience. You know, no one loves going to the dentist generally. And some people dread it. For like my wife, it makes her very anxious and nervous. They try to make it very comfortable there, especially for the kiddos. And again, same-day crowns now available. 226-3500 for an appointment, 479-226-3500, or visit online at RileyFarmDental.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Mach 1 Financial. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor located in Bentonville, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
So Texas ultimately loses in basketball last night, 77-71. They're up by 16 at one point and let the lead slip away, which is just great. They allowed UCF to shoot 51% and were out-rebounded by 15. But what stood out in the game to most people was not the final score, but what occurred after the game, where we had certain UCF players giving the horns down, not to opposing Texas players, but to the Texas fans who I would guess were not exactly cordial the majority of the night. And Rodney Terry, their head basketball coach, Texas's head basketball coach, he cried himself a little river after the game.
I'm a big believer in, you win the right way, you lose the right way. And, I always tell my guys, whether you win or lose, you win the right way. You lose the right way. You carry yourself the right way. You don't go through the handshake line or prior to getting to the handshake line and have about 6 or 7 guys putting the horns down. We don't do that. Because when you do those kind of things, it looks very classless, and it also looks like you were just hoping to win. We never go into games trying to hope to win. We go into games expecting to win. So we don't act like that. We expect to win. We don't jump up and down like we won a national championship. We sure don't step on anyone's home court deal and act crazy and try to show them up in any way. We don't do that. So that's what I was angry about, and I was letting those guys know you don't do that. You guys won, shake your hand, tip my hat to you, but we're not going to let you act that way in our building. You're not going to do that. You're not going to put your horns down and do all that nonsense.
Because when I think of Texas,
what would you know about a national
when I
time?
think of the Texas Longhorns fan base and the tradition, their supposed tradition, I think of not cockiness. I don't think of arrogance. I don't think of any. Oh, wait. Every bit of that fan base, of that institution, thrives on that aspect. So when they lose, which they did last night at home in the most glorious fashion, and they do that, if that irked Rodney Terry, Chris DeLaconte, their athletics director, and the rest of that fan base, guys, they got a rude awakening when they join the SEC starting in football next year. I mean, this is just the tip of the eye. If you're irked by UCF...
Listen, and Chuck can speak to this because he's witnessed it firsthand. As bad as Texas football and basketball fans can be, Chuck, I think the worst of the lot is their baseball fans. And when when Greedo was there and they had the success that they were having, I thought sometimes there was one of the 2009 World Series. I guess we were all up there in Omaha together. I mean, that I think is the worst of the lot when it comes to Longhorn fans.
Well, they set a new standard for arrogance,
yes,
and did for many years. UCF's evidently pretty good. They've beaten Kansas and Texas this year. Now, they also lost to BYU. BYU's really good. But UCF's good. I think some of that is Texas is leaving the conference and UCF's just coming into the conference. I think that's part of it. I can remember when we transitioned from the Southwest Conference to the SEC, and, man, we caught it that year. In football particularly. We were doing most of the talking in basketball back then, but it wasn't a real good time in football, and it only got worse. So evidently, they view it as a slur. I don't know how else to put it. They view the horns down as a slur.
Oh, I mean,
bless their little hearts, Chuck.
Well, I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just saying that's how they view it. And, yeah, they're in for a rude awakening.
Hey,
they come to the Southeastern Conference. They are.
I've told this story before when we played them here a couple of years ago. I took my son, who's getting ready to be 14 next week. I guess he was 12 at the time. And he was doing horns down after Arkansas had the game in hand. The game wasn't over. And some Texas fans behind me tapped him on the shoulder, my kid, and said, hey, you don't need to be doing that. That's disrespectful. And it basically gave the same whining speech. And I thought we were getting ready.
That's how they view it.
I thought we were getting ready to rumble. I thought I thought I was going to have to take these guys solo, and I probably was going to lose. But I was going to be hoping for help from my neighbors. But I wasn't about to let him poke my kid in the shoulder and talk ugly to my kid because we were beating their hind ends.
Oh, they're Texas.
I mean,
fans.
who does that? That's the essence of a Texas fan. Who does that to a 12-year-old kid?
They've convinced their people that the horns down sign is like the worst thing in the world. They have convinced their people of that.
They're going to have a hard road to hoe in the SEC.
Oh, my gosh. When they come in, first of all, Greg Sankey, if you don't schedule those SOBs in Bud Walton Arena next year, I'm going to be livid. That's got to happen first time that they're entering the league. They're already coming to Fayetteville for football. Might as well give them through the ringer in basketball. They're going to get beat by 20, and then they're going to cry to their mommies like they did last time. I mean, you're at home. You're at home and you're complaining about that. How about the fact that you got out-rebounded by 15? How about the fact that you let a 16-point lead slip away? No, the biggest point of the press conference was, they put the horns down after we lost last night. Ronnie Terry.
Hey, dude, you got beat by UCF.
Yeah, Chuck,
you got plenty to worry about.
Listen, I had the fact that they beat Kansas in my back pocket like you brought up. I wasn't going to add to that because that makes the story. It doesn't make the story as good. But again, they're out of the league, and it's only going to get a lot hotter because I think whether it's Georgia, Bama, and I know Bama's played them back-to-back years.
Can you imagine going to Auburn? Can you imagine when Texas goes to Auburn? It's going to be rough here, but there's some hostile environments in this league.
And I can't wait. It's going to be joyous, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, and Texas will be able to compete in three sports. They won't get – I know some people think they're going to get massacred in all three. They're not going to necessarily win the SEC right when they enter, but they'll compete, and it'll be intense, and it'll be good games. But listen, everyone's excited for November the 16th when they come into Fayetteville, Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium. I think I might be more excited for that first baseball series or that first basketball game inside of Bud Walton and Baum Walker, because as intense as you hope it is in November, we'll see how the football season plays out. But guys, I mean, when's the last time they've been into Bud Walton? I guess was that Damian James and that team back in like 2009 or whatever, and then baseball-wise.
That was when we beat OU and Texas in the same week, and then didn't pee a drop in SEC play. 0
or 2-14 or whatever it was, and then again, baseball is going to be fun as well. I hope they get scheduled in Fayetteville this first season in both those other sports too.
That'd be great. Be fun. Hope it does.
You bring up something, and I kind of wanted to blend it into this. So you bring up the Texas fans being next to you in 2021 when Dylan and you were there at the game. The Clippers have kind of – the Los Angeles Clippers, they built this new $2 billion arena. $2 billion arena. The Intuit Dome.
Yeah, I heard you the first time.
Yeah, and they've got this concept brought up called the Wall, where it's 51 rows of only fans for their said team. Because what's happened in Los Angeles is that's a predominant Lakers town, and even at their home games, you'll see Lakers jersey, you'll see other team jersey and stuff. And the idea is that they want that to just be a solely home section, which I think a lot of Arkansas fans would enjoy in Bud Walton in Donald W. And
kind of like a high school gym. You walk in, there's a sign that says visiting fans, visiting students.
So in this section, you're not supposed to be able to cheer for an opposing team. You can't wear opponent gear, and you can only sell these tickets or resell them in the Clippers marketplace, which I think is a great concept and idea. I don't know how you could logistically make that work here, but I would love to see Arkansas do something. And I like being next to opposing fans because I just think it's entertaining a lot of the times, the animosity between the two, but some don't.
Well, heck, we have fights amongst our own fans. I mean, when you get visiting fans in there, it even the most civil of people, it leads to confrontation.
I think the Clippers are just hoping they can find 51 people that will come to the basketball game to watch their team play. I think that's the reason they're doing it. They're just trying to find a way to get that many people in the gym.
And everybody's looking for a way to make every seat premium, right? So we're going to make it exclusive. We're going to put a chair, but we're going to put a cup holder on it. You know, we've done that in football. We've made every end zone seat, which end zone seats are never considered premium. We've made them premium seats by giving you a chair back and a cup holder and a view of a screen. That's what people do.
That's one of the great accomplishments of college administrators across America is convincing their fan base that the end zone's a good place to sit. I mean, it's happened all over the country.
I know.
Now, I mean, they make them comfortable. They put a big screen down at the other end.
You can't see the
club
game.
options.
But you
just
got
watch
great
the game on TV.
But
just watch the game on television.
As someone
you got a cup holder.
As someone that was duped by that philosophy, it is free food and free alcohol.
It's not free.
It's free.
It's not free.
The way, again, you just have
Nothing
to.
is free.
You just have to drink enough and eat enough to make it free.
I can't tell you the number of times I look to my right out of the booth to the south end. And remember, when I was in high school, you could sit on a wooden bleacher on the south end for $2. And a lot of times through FCA, you got the tickets for free. And now it is a premium seat that people pay out the you-know-what to sit in. And I can't tell you the number of times I've just looked down there and laughed and shook my head at hey, how good these guys are at selling their product, and how much people love college football, and how much people love to be comfortable.
They were permanent portable bleachers down there, and they had the cinder block concession stands underneath them, and the old Letterman's Club was kind of in that corner back towards Barnhill. Right. I went on an FCA trip my 7th grade year, and I believe they were playing A&M, and the highlight of the game was seeing Nolan kind of stand in the corner after a practice and watching the game. We got to see Nolan kind of standing there. But, I mean, I've sat in those same spots. There was a big scoreboard right behind there. And
I was there I sat there the day Steve Little kicked a 67-yard field goal against Texas. I remember that like it was yesterday.
And we still lost that game, right?
Got rooked on a no-call face mask in that ball game.
And you bring that up. I think that's also something that Texas has.
Let's get on Texas a little bit. How about that?
I'm going to come back to it. I wanted to circle back. It was just plastic. It's Too Stupid Thursday. Rodney Terry's a bum for bringing that up, and I just want to continue to pile on, not just him, but the Texas Longhorns. And Brian and Ozark, if you're listening, I really hope you are. But that is something that they have had the benefit of the doubt in the Big 12 is calls. Let's call a spade a spade. I mean, you guys have watched it. Southwest Conference, Big 12. They might have not gotten it the last year or so because Big 12 officials and their administration doesn't want to see them go out on a high note, and I get that. But in big marquee games against Arkansas and other teams, Texas gets the benefit of the doubt. They are not going to get that in this league. In fact, I would present the opposite idea that they are, again, going to get the opposite. I screwed that up. But they're going to get the opposite of that. And I think that's going to be very interesting.
The opposite of the benefit of the doubt, Ty?
I don't know. Let's pull up the phrase that makes that whole. But I wonder how their fans are going to react when they feel like they get screwed on calls consistently. And I get the idea that every fan base thinks they get hosed or jobbed by the officials, but it's going to happen more with Texas, and I can't wait to see their fan base
I don't think they're going to get jobbed. Now, I'm sure they'll feel like they do, but we feel that way, and everybody else feels that way too. I think what Texas fans, I think the Texas football people and basketball people and baseball people, I think they've got a pretty good idea about now what they're getting into. I think their fans are going to discover that they're not going to be able to strut into other teams' stadiums and take over an entire section the way they have in the past. They're not going to be able to walk into the restaurants on Friday night in these small towns and just take over the way they have in a lot of other places. It is going to be different for them. I mean, I know some Texas, real Texas people, real Texas fans that are ingrained in that program, and I like them on every day except the day the Longhorns are playing, because on that day they're just impossible to be around.
Oh yeah.
And but yeah, that's coming for their fan base. I think their athletic administration probably has a much better idea about what they're getting into now than maybe they did a year or two ago.
Can't you see them orange-clad idiots coming into Herman's up there and trying to tell Nick how to cook a steak? Hey, in Texas, this is how we do it.
They know their way to Fayetteville. They've been doing that. If they're old enough, they did it for years. It's going to be some of these other places they go to for the first time. And it's going to be different for them.
Yeah,
I did see the recent report from USA Today that their athletics department cleared over $270 million, I think it was, which beat every other school that's been released publicly, like $70 million. I think Ohio State barely got over $200 million, and that makes sense why Ross Bjork left College Station to go up to Columbus.
Let's not forget. And look, I hope Texas struggles, and I do think it's going to be more difficult for them than they realize. They did go into Tuscaloosa and win. It's not like this is a program that's going to be as down as maybe they were a couple of years ago. We caught them in Fayetteville when they were down. I mean, you look at where they are now, where they were then. You got to give Sark credit. I didn't think he'd be able to do it, quite honestly, but he's pulled it off there. Texas will be a factor in the SEC, but it's not ever going to be the same for him again.
And let's be honest, they should have won the game the year before in Austin.
Maybe so.
Yep.
Maybe so.
Had that call in the end zone that didn't work out. I mean, yeah, should have won the year before.
And they'll have no disrespect to Jackson Dart, because I don't think he's the quarterback that can take Ole Miss to their first ever SEC championship. They'll have the best quarterback in the league in Quinn Ewers.
Yeah. Speaking of money, Chuck, $270 million. We may not have $270 million, but we got the guys that can help you manage what you got.
If you've not listened to the Market Moment podcast, it's really interesting. Right now they're talking about interest rates. Everybody's talking about interest rates. What's going to happen in 2024? What's the Fed going to do? What do you think they ought to do? We read about this stuff, and the folks on the Market Moment podcast, they're local people, number one, local financial experts. They take these national issues, they bring them home, they break them down, and they talk to you about what it's going to mean to your money, your retirement, maybe your life right now. If you've not listened to it yet, this is the address. Go to market-moment.com, market-moment.com. And I'll remind you that Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC, is an SEC-registered investment advisor. They're located in Rogers. And for full disclosures, you can visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
So we found out from Jerry Jones that Mike McCarthy is his guy still. There are plenty of NFL jobs open at this point in time, and there are names, again, that are speculated, whether it's Jim Harbaugh, Bill Belichick, and whatnot. Maybe the Eagles job pops open. Maybe there's another job that hasn't happened to this point in time. I'm really curious to see what plays out with Harbaugh. I did see that he's trying to put something in his contract where his buyout doesn't go up until after the NFL hiring period, which I think is interesting. He's also gotten, this is from Dan Wetzel of Yahoo Sports, he's also, if he's going to sign this Michigan deal, seeking language that would grant him immunity from termination from any fining or sanction that could arise from multiple and current NCAA investigations within his football program. So I know I cheated.
Basically, you can't fire me for anything.
I know I cheated. I just want you to be okay with it, and I want you to pay me $12 million a year, $12.5 million a year for the next 10 years.
And they'll say okay.
Yeah, I was like, they'll agree to those terms. Yeah.
This is, I'm not saying Harbaugh is a media creation. I'm saying the media firestorm around Harbaugh has just baffled me. And I'm not saying he's not a great coach. He is a great coach. And he's got a lot of positive energy, and that translates to college and pros. But the guy didn't even coach in 6 games this year. He didn't even coach. I mean, he wasn't out there. And I'm not saying that it wasn't still his team. But going to the point of some of these penalties, he is still the hottest name in coaching. Sports talk shows in Northwest Arkansas are talking about Jim Harbaugh. Are you kidding me? That's all we've got to do? I'm not knocking anybody for doing it. I'm just saying that the media firestorm around him is fed on itself. And that's to the benefit of Jim Harbaugh. There's no doubt about that.
Well, yeah.
But he won't have this kind of success. And I know he had success in the NFL before, but it's a different game now, even than it was a decade ago. And, the Colin Kaepernick was his quarterback for a good bit of the time, and the advent of the running quarterback helped him then. A lot of teams have running quarterbacks now.
Yeah, well, that'd be my argument. I'm so good, I don't even have to be there for half the games, and we still win. That's how good a coach I am. That'd be my argument if I was his agent. Hey, APAC Arcola has immediate openings in Boone, Marion, Baxter counties, also Benton and Washington counties. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, you have experience with concrete or asphalt, they've got jobs open right now that fit your skills and fit what you like to do. Go to jobs.crh.com, find out about top pay, sign-on bonus, great benefits package with insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
Find us on 99.5 and
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McCarthy Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McCarthy Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarthy Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarthy Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarthy Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
If you hope heaven has a bar, it's guaranteed that you'll be bounced and barred. Heaven is reserved for those who have put their hope in God's Word. Jesus said you must be born again by trusting in Him, or you won't see the kingdom of heaven. God set the bar so high, that's why Jesus had to die. If you refuse God's last call, the Holy Spirit will serve you a fireball. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jones Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jones Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
It's time to vote for your favorite high school player of the week. ESPN Arkansas and Shamrock Roofing and Construction are recognizing the most outstanding high school student athletes. Visit hitthatline.com each week to vote for your favorite athlete of the week. The high school player of the week is brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. No one can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock. Visit them at shamrockroofer.com. Visit the nominees each week at hitthatline.com. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Tremont going to head to the basket, throws it up at the horn. It's good. 1.1 to go. Arkansas is going to win the game. A&M threw it in. The ball went out of bounds, and the Hogs win it. The Hogs win the ball game. What a finish, 78-77. Tremont Mark with a basket. What a finish.
So Coach Musselman, following that win, called it a confidence builder for his basketball team. That struggled to this point, but they're going to try and continue on that streak this Saturday when the South Carolina Gamecocks come to town. Going to hear more from Muss coming up about how they executed against the Aggies and kind of what they need to do moving forward.
Chuck, I was impressed with the energy on that final call, considering it's almost 11 o'clock at night. That well done by you, sir.
Well, I got to tell you, too, man, I was afraid after Taylor hit that three that they were going to win the game. I mean, it was like, wow, that was just such an incredible finish.
Hey, give your home the gift of new window coverings this year. Lisa's Louvers of Northwest Arkansas. They're the ones to call if you're looking for new draperies. Those powered automatic blinds that you can control from your phone or a remote control, they do those. Gorgeous draperies, energy-efficient shades, smart technology blinds, everything in between. They've got you covered for great-looking window coverings and blinds as well. And in fact, they've been doing it for more than 20 years. So these are the experts. You want to deal with someone local, a local business, not go to the big box store or shop online, deal with an expert? Lisa's Louvers is who you call. They have Graber window coverings, the absolute best. They even have a designer on staff that'll give you a free consultation to make sure your home, office, or business looks marvelous. 479-644-6404. 479-644-6404 to schedule your appointment or visit lisaslouversnwa.com.
Execution and effort. That's what we saw on Tuesday night.
I thought our effort was phenomenal. I thought our execution on both ends, we did not have to go to the zone. We played straight man the whole game. We did an incredible job on Radford. He went 2 for 15. We took away a lot of threes tonight. I mean, really, other than Taylor, the three ball for A&M was not there. Look, you're not going to stop two stars, and tonight we did a great job on Radford. And like I said, I don't know if I've coached too many games in college where a player's taken 32 FGAs.
You stopped one of the two, and you're lucky, Chuck, not to have Coleman out there. Henry Coleman, their frontline guy, that really, even though Arkansas got out-rebounded, that probably would have been a difference if he'd have been available.
Well, it certainly would have made them better, that's for sure. He's a good player, and he's had good games against Arkansas. I'll tell you, only one guy can score, though, and Taylor was their scorer. So even if Coleman had played, Taylor might have still scored 41.
He had some special shots, and the degree of difficulty of some of the shots he made was pretty unbelievable. Now, again, you did a great job on Tyrese Boots Radford. Taylor, honestly, did a good job. He just jacked it up 32 times. Two guys you got to stop on Saturday. B.J. Mack, their power forward, and then Meechie Johnson, their guard. Meechie's a really good shooter, so they're going to have to contain him, whether it's Devo, Mark, or whoever else is on him. But those are kind of the two guys you got to stop on Saturday.
Cooper is their third guy. Yeah.
When you look at the matchup between Mark and Taylor the other night, and it kind of turned in, if you were watching it, it just kind of turned into who's going to make the next great play. I think it's kind of an example of the way Arkansas has got to win. They've got to be efficient in what they do. Mark scored 35 on, 15 field goal attempts, if I'm not mistaken. It took Taylor 32 shots to get 41. Now, 41 is significant. I'm not dismissing that. But my point is Mark was a lot more efficient in his shots and obviously got to the foul line, made his free throws. I think that's the way Arkansas has got to win. Mark held his own and ultimately hit the winning shot, held his own against an elite scorer in Taylor, if you want to break it down to a one-on-one situation. But Arkansas found a way to win the game. And I just kind of think the way Mark went about his business is the way Arkansas has got to go about their business as a team.
Peeking ahead to Saturday, it's kind of just looking at the team stats, and stats will lie to you, but the rebounding numbers – identical for South Carolina and Arkansas, according to ESPN.com. Both averaged just under 37 rebounds a game, so who wins that battle may determine who wins the game. But similar rebounding teams with Arkansas and South Carolina.
Might be. I was surprised South Carolina didn't hold that lead the other night at home against Georgia. I kind of thought they'd win that game. They're better. There's no doubt about that. Georgia's a lot better. But I was a little surprised by that result.
Yeah. They had a good win against Mississippi State to open conference play, won by 6 there, lost to Bama, beat Missouri in overtime. Missouri's taken some people to the wire, and then you mentioned the Georgia loss. So that's been their 4 SEC games that find them 2-2 in league play.
You mentioned kind of the battle between Mark and Wade Taylor, Chuck. I appreciate any time two guys are scoring that they go at it back and forth. They guarded each other late in the game.
Yeah,
and,
some they did.
With Devo going out for that ejection, you saw that more, and Mark got a block or two on him, which is fun. I know it wasn't the prettiest basketball games, but when two guys get hot and then every once in a while they get matched up on each other, I enjoy that aspect in college basketball.
Wade Taylor's one of those guys, frankly, I enjoy watching play. I'll watch him play on television against other guys. He doesn't do what he does against Arkansas sometimes. He scored 36 the other night against Kentucky. I think it was his freshman year. He came in and scored 28, if I'm not mistaken. And he's had some big games. This is a 6-foot guy. I mean, this is not a big guy. Yeah. But, man, all he needs is just a little bit of an opening. He's got such a quick release.
Well, they'll have the game on the TVs at Joe's Grill and Cantina on Saturday. It's a great place to enjoy their chips and salsa and find the best Tex-Mex around. They've got that homemade salsa and those fresh chips. In fact, they make the salsa fresh daily with fresh veggies. Even carrots are in it. It's got a great flavor and a great taste. You'll like it. Try the sizzling fajita skillets, their crunchy tacos. They got a homemade enchilada sauce that is outstanding. But above all of that, besides the full bar, the great TVs, they got great service. So that's why you're going to love the Tex-Mex and the great service at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps in Fort Smith.
All right, we'll go over some of those other SEC games as well and talk about the reprimand from the conference towards Nate Oates.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is former Razorback tight end Ben Cleveland, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Tommy Craft for the Fitzman. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fitzman. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fitzman. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hudson Clark with his 5th career interception.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hi, this is Arkansas Razorback Kobe Branham. During my football career, my family has always relied on National Family Pharmacy on Dodson Avenue in Fort Smith, and your family should too. National Family Pharmacy is open 7 days a week, accepts most insurance plans and Medicaid, and is always there to answer questions about your medications.
Tissues, throat lozenges, decongestant, Pepto, wet wipes.
National Family Pharmacy, 1615 Dodson Avenue in Fort Smith. Go Hogs.
The Golf Nut has a great selection of Arkansas hoodies and in-game shirts from Nike. The Golf Nut also has the best selection of clubs like Callaway Paradigm, TaylorMade Stealth 2, and Peen G430, along with a wide assortment of shoes, apparel, and golf bags. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks and schedule a lesson on the simulator at 646-4430. Matt has over 10 years in the golf industry. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 golf shop since 1994.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle. Why do people
people of Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing, the SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Jim in Mountainburg texted in on the McCarthy Daniel hotline asking about Lane Kiffin's whereabouts. And I want to talk more in depth about this tomorrow, but for those that don't know, Lane Kiffin's apparently been in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. What players he's recruiting, I have no idea. I don't know if it's Caden Proctor, their left tackle, who started all 14 games that just entered the portal. I don't know if it's Caleb Downs, their all-SEC freshman All-American safety that is supposedly going to enter the portal. Either way, he's done this in Gainesville. He's done this in other SEC pit stops, and he just loves twisting the knife in SEC fan bases.
Well, there's, the sharks smell the blood in the water. They taste the blood in the water right now, and particularly for a portal player or a recruit that it came down to Bama or Ole Miss, and you've got that relationship. I mean, why wouldn't you knock on that door?
I'm going to Oxford.
Yeah, but why would? If you're in Lane Kiffin's shoes, why wouldn't you be there knocking on the door?
Yeah, and same, like even Pine Bluff with Cordy Crutchfield. I think he also may have gone to Fayetteville as well. So he has fun on social media, which some people don't. He seems to. Ross B. York has been officially hired by the Ohio State University. Texas A&M without an athletics director to this point in time. I saw, again, that USA Today article. They had like the second biggest athletics department revenue, over $200 million. Texas was like $270. Is that our Yurchek candidate there? That's the first thing I thought of. A&M.
Tell me why he would be.
Way bigger budget. Oh, in terms of from their vantage point? I mean, Arkansas consistently is top 10 in the Directors' Cup or FedEx Cup it's Directors' Cup standings. You have had some decent success hiring. I know the football thing hasn't panned out. I mean,
there you go. Stop. No need to talk any further.
That's
all
it.
that Directors' Cup, no one cares. All this other stuff, no one. I mean, the only thing you're judged on in reality as an AD is who you hire and who you fire and who you replace someone with in your football coach's job. So, I don't think there's been enough success under Hunter Yurachek's watch that A&M would consider any coach or any AD that had the record of a football program that would be similar to Arkansas. It didn't have anything to do with Hunter Yurachek or his business acumen or fundraising or any of that stuff. The number one job of an AD is to hire great football coaches and know when to get rid of ones that aren't getting the job done.
Apparently that is a strength of Ross B. York, his fundraising, is what I've read. So we'll see.
Important, but one thing that Ross B. York was also directly tied to is, I guess, the contract extension and the buyout terms of Jimbo Fisher.
Apparently his new president at Ohio State asked him about that, which
and those are the things that as a AD make you more attractive and more valuable in the marketplace or less. When it comes to the elite jobs like Ohio State or A&M or, those kind of things. And, for Bjork, he may have been getting out because, the pressure, if they don't win now with this new hires, it's going to fall on him.
So is Mike Elko just a sitting duck? The new Texas A&M head coach, he's started his job, and now he's going to have a new boss who we always know about the connection with athletic directors and either.
This is going to be true for every coach on that campus. So I don't know what you mean by sitting duck. But, I mean, he's got a contract with terms in it. So he hadn't even coached the game yet. So I don't think he's on the chopping block or anything like that.
Greg Byrne, Alabama athletics director, was on Paul Feinbaum saying that Nick Saban is going to be an advisor in Kalen DeBoer's opening press conference. He's saying he's going to have access to everything. Again, I'm curious to see what ends up playing out in Tuscaloosa with the amount of time Saban spends there, or that beautiful penthouse apparently in Jupiter, Florida.
This is just bluster for the fans. I mean, I'm not saying Saban's not going to make an appearance. Saban's not going to be helping them break down opponents' offenses and put together defensive plans. And I mean, the idea of him meddling, like some people think Frank Broyles meddled with Holtz and Hatfield and other coach. That's not.
You don't think he's did that?
Why would you retire then if you're still going to be actively involved in the operations of the? This is said so that it calms fans down.
Mm.
Fans feel like if Saban's still got a hand somewhere on the program, that things will be okay somehow.
Well, I'm hoping the thing withers away, but we'll have to wait and see how DeBoer does. Who's won again everywhere he's been. Some basketball news. Nate Oates didn't even get a slap on the wrist. Got a public reprimand from the conference and Greg Sankey. According to the bylaws, that's how it plays out.
What would a slap on the wrist be? You say you didn't even get a slap on the wrist.
A public reprimand, like, that doesn't do anything. His AD doesn't care. He's concerned about football. I think this should have warranted, at least to your point, a technical foul, which it didn't. So he didn't get that in the game. Post game,
there was a lot. I will say that there was a lot happening in a very small space. Did the referees even see that? I don't know. I mean, I didn't go back and I don't remember them going to the monitor.
Yeah, I don't either.
So
I'm not saying he should have been castrated. I'm just saying that.
Well, it sounds like it, but I mean, he should
close.
Not have done what he did. But
Still
I mean,
lost one.
But he didn't suggest puppies should lose their lives. He didn't do anything that drastic.
There's no audio that says I've done that either because it's been deleted. That's going to haunt me for the rest of my life. Basketball news outside of Oates not getting any punishment whatsoever from the SEC, which I will stick by that. Kentucky wins in Rupp last night, 90-77. LSU wins in the PMAC. I was actually texting some guys that live in Baton Rouge this morning about that game coming up in a couple weeks. Plan on being there for that. 89-80 against Ole Miss. Tommy, Ole Miss trying to bounce back. They go to the Jungle. Said went to LSU last night.
Mm-hmm.
Now they go to the Jungle in Auburn on Saturday, trying to knock off Auburn for the first time in conference play this season. And then Auburn got a win against Vanderbilt in Nashville, the worst team in the SEC. You can no longer say that Arkansas is in competition for the worst team in the SEC. That is Jerry Stackhouse's Commodores, who are nowhere near Joe Lunardi's selection bids right now.
Yeah. Okay, so you're 13th in the league or you're 12th in the league. I mean, you just got to win a few more games and get yourself in that conversation for 7, 8, 9, and that might be the peak of it this year.
Yeah,
he could be right dead in the middle of this league, 7 or 8, somewhere in there.
So I think you finished 6th or 7th last year.
I think Chuck's point earlier, what was it, 18-13 going into the SEC tournament last year? It's going to be an uphill battle just to get to that.
But you had I don't think Oklahoma ended up being that good, but you had San Diego State, and I think you had another marquee non-conference winner, too, that helped you.
We'll just see. I mean, that net ranking stuff is, fluid. It changes daily. So we'll see. The only answer is to win. You can talk about anything else. The only answer is to win games.
I had a Morning Rush listener who is an avid Arkansas fan say, you know what, Ty, I actually don't necessarily want to travel for the NCAA tournament this year. I wouldn't mind if Arkansas didn't miss the NCAA tournament. I looked at him and I wanted to punch him in the face. I was like, I don't care where they go. I mean, they're Charlotte, Omaha, Indianapolis, some of the first-round sites. As long as they make it. They can go Dayton for all I care. I'll drive to Dayton as long as this team makes it to another tournament. So right now, Tommy, Joe Lunardi has you considered. You're not even on the next 4 in or next 4 out, last 4 in or whatever. You're just considered.
Not even an honorable mention at this point.
There's 8 teams that have bids, and Florida, Georgia, and Arkansas are being, quote-unquote, considered. 2 teams that you lost to.
Well, you got to win and play your way into the middle of the pack in this conference.
Yeah, so big game, again, Saturday for a team that is, according to Joe Lunardi, one of the last 4 in.
You're just hoping to play your way into the bubble.
Great point, yeah.
I mean, that's where you're at right now. So, I mean, and to back up what you're saying there, just to add to it, that is the bubble because you're going to be right on the fringe at best of being one of the last bids from this league. So it may be a 2000 all over again. You got to rely on going and winning it all, and that's going to be at least a 4-day uphill battle.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
yeah,
Sunday.
Minimum. Yeah. So, what you can't do is have to play on Wednesday. You got to play your way out of that. So.
I don't know if a team has ever won while starting out on Wednesday to that point.
Has a team ever even gotten to the finals? that way.
I think Georgia.
Now we'll look it up, and it happened last year.
Yeah.
But
I think Georgia.
Well, yeah, it happened last year, idiot. So anyway, you got to play your way out of that battle as well. Hey, we're brought to you by Modular Orange. This is the company that we trust and you should trust to create, write, design, launch, host, register, secure. I mean, everything that, we've done websites and stuff. There's a lot of boxes to check to get one live and online. And it takes a team of people, graphic designers, people that know how to deal with photos and make those look the best, people that deal with this every day and know what the right look and what's appealing to the eye on your phone. Because we think about websites, we think about computer look, but 80% of your traffic is going to come from mobile phones, tablets, and then computers. So it's really important to have an expert that understands how to make your website look great, work on all different platforms and all different devices as well. That's our friends at Modular Orange, and it's only $95 a month. You just build that into your budget. I mean, you probably spend more on that on bottled water and toilet paper a month than $95. Your website's very important. It's your 24-hour showroom for your business. I mean, it's the first impression many new customers or potential new customers have about you. $95 a month solves all your problems. 479-755-3043, 755-3043, or go to modularorange.com.
I will say this company, and I'm a big part of it, spends more money on water bottles and toilet paper than most companies of our size to this point. I'm in that bathroom at least twice a day, and I drink at least 3 or 4.
We're going to start taking some of your vacation time. You spend enough time in there.
Out of the bathroom.
I saw a company the other day put up a deal that, hey, they'd set timers on the lights that because people, there are some, Ty, that use their bathroom time to get on their phones and, avoid work.
I get here earlier, so I have that set bathroom
That's
time
a good point.
in the morning. That's legitimately.
I did see it with some corporation had set timers on their lights in the bathroom so that the lights went out after 6 minutes or something to get people out of the bathroom and back to work.
Well, I've been going.
We all know that person at work though. That
takes forever at this point.
Well, they're just wasting time, so they don't have to work.
See, I did that in school, but I didn't do that in the workplace. I wised up and take normal amounts of time on bathroom breaks. What a way to end a Too Stupid Thursday. Taylor Swift's cat is worth more than Travis Kelce.
I'll trade them 2 dogs for a cat right now. The beef jerky eating dogs at my house. I tell you what, I got home yesterday and I think Laura found out what the consequence was of the beef jerky incident.
I was wondering when you were going to share that.
Because I came home and the carpet cleaner was out.
Ugh.
And there was not a very happy look on her face.
Did you get a death stare?
It wasn't me. She's mad at the dogs.
Dogs, okay.
Mad at the dogs.
I know sometimes a pet will do something and the lovely lady of the home will still get mad at the man of the home.
Oh, no, she knows these are her dogs, not mine.
Okay, so you're in the clear then, it sounds like.
These are her dogs.
With the exception of your lost.
She apologized. She felt bad that her dogs did that to my beef jerky.
Look at that.
Joey was listening yesterday morning. I think he's going to have to renegotiate with the dogs, he said, but he's working on helping me with that beef jerky.
I finished up my hot.
I'm mad. I'd rather them eating a filet mignon than eating my beef jerky.
Oh, it's good beef jerky. There's no question about it. Appreciate everyone joining us today here on a Too Stupid Thursday. You missed any of our conversation with Chuck or Tom? Find it in the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. For Christian, for Tommy, I'm Ty. Back in these chairs tomorrow at 6 a.m.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at